This is not a joke. It's not a turn-by-turn thing here. I wouldn't be here. After this election, stop coddling Showore and having him running his mouth. He cannot win a single local government. So
you are the one running your mouth. Like, stop, be respectful to Showore. Are you mad? Are you alright?
Mute that guy. Mute him. It's my turn.
Are you mad?
Mute that boy right now.
Amari, hold on.
Mute that son of a bitch.
No. No. Pansa, no, you don't say. No, this is not good. You see, this what I
uncle, right? I have the right to address Showore the way I like. You don't know what Showore did to me. So learn to control your emotion, right? That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. But if you don't want to control your emotion and you insult me here, I'm going to insult you 100%.
Okay.
You understand? You cannot insult me on a normal ground. Physically, you can't insult me, right? I will treat you like a child. If you insult me physically, I will handle you like a child. I don't care your age. Do you understand? You are powerful over the camera, so you can say whatever you want to say, but you can't yet say it to me physically. You understand? I will handle you like a kid.
Can we arrange the meeting ground? Can we arrange the meeting ground?
So learn to control your emotion. You understand?
Okay.
Please don't take him out. I also have a right to respond because you mentioned my name. There's no need to take him out. All you have to do is to meet them or something. And you're taking too long to admonish them.
Comment.
What did you say?
Comment.
I know, but he mentioned my name, so I'm asking to respond to him.
When he gets your time,
No. He mentioned my name.
If you want to make it rowdy, I will take you out.
Take me out, you son of a bitch. Take me out. You think you're a big boy because you're moderating.
Take him out, please.
Hello, come on, don't use such word now.
Dr. Damages, please, I want Soli to tell us who are the fools on this panel.
I consider you a fool. Yeah.
On this panel, yeah. Who are the fools?
I will explain the foolish statement that you made. When you were talking about Showore.
I made a foolish statement.
Yes, you did.
You must be very stupid if you don't know how to respect your elder. You are very, very stupid. Are you crazy? You must be very stupid to use that word on your elders. Am I your mate? You're a very stupid boy. Can you learn how to talk?
If you cannot handle it, don't ask me.
Can you learn how to talk?
Mute your mic.
See, don't be fooled with the comment section hype. So
excuse me.
Okay, hold on,
guys. I expected you to ask him to withdraw that word. Nobody is a fool on this panel.
Okay, hold on.
Stupid. Can you call your?
Okay, hold on, everybody. I know we are ranting.
Can you call your father a fool?
No, hold on.
If my father behaves like you, yes, I would.
No, please, everybody, calm down.
Dr. Damages, please, I will.
I am Ido kwasamaka onyoma odika powder. Ido kwasamupu onyoma odika fomu. Ido kwasamishi onyoma odika pilu. Ololololo, aturubu ebule wakawa. Adure oleri, adure oleri o, adure, aturubwe bule waka wa iuri o, adure, adure lele, adure, adure lele, idu wasamaka onyoma odika powder. Idu kwa samuku onyoma odika fumu. Idu kwa samishi onyoma odika pilu. Ololololo aturubu epule waka Putilio, putilio.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you a bit later than we would have loved to today, and I am lost of every joy that I want to come with because of, again, of what we're going to be discussing. But for today, my name is KJ, and I'm sitting in for 90 minutes Africa, a time where we use in talking about what is going on around the world and politics around the world and all that, with special emphasis on Nigeria and Africa. Today, we started the program earlier with a journalist, Mr. Friday, who was arrested because of a publication he made, taken from Lagos, quickly rushed to Abuja. In Abuja, he was remanded in prison, and from there, it was just all the way spiraled down. And that is one of the fears of journalism in Nigeria, or journalists that operate within the Nigerian space. You fear not because of the stories you're going to write, but because you will not have an opportunity to even defend yourself. You could be arrested and you may not be able to see the light of day. Nobody, your family members, the public, the people are even writing and trying to defend their social justice will not know where you are, why you are locked up or taken to. And that is one of the fear that any operating within the media space in Nigeria is afraid of. Not because we don't have the stories, not because we don't see the stories, not because we don't have the evidences, but because you fear that you will not be able to get justice. And because of that, sometimes you have a good story that the Nigerian public need to hear and know, but you can't go ahead and make those publications. And that being that way. So today we are able to discuss with him, and of course, all of you heard his story. And we're going to also dive into that a little bit more. But today I come with a very sad heart, a story that I would not have ever loved to tell myself, but I'm here to tell it. A story of a young Nigerian whose parents I know very well, was my colleague many years ago. And a very, 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 when I mean the word very nice man. The father is a very nice man. He was a young boy when I knew him, or when I get to meet with his parents. And, I think they left this Nigeria at the age of very young age to South Africa, where they have dwelt for so long. His father, I know very well, worked within the circles of the Christian organizations in Nigeria, particularly the Dominion Chapel in Abuja, worked closely with Bishop Praise. And before moving to Southern Africa, where they dwell even up till now, where he again engaged in doing the work of the Lord. He have contributed to a lot of the outreaches and in Southern Africa with himself and his wife. Very committed people, very nice people. Only for us 2 days ago to hear that his only son, because he has 2 children, I don't know if they had more when they went to South Africa, but when they left Nigeria, they had 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. The boy's name is called Isaac. His surname is Satellite. They are from Plateau State. and we got a very sad, a very disturbing video that has circulated the internet. I will not be able to show that all the video, but I'll probably show part of it. It's been very troubling for me. It's more troubling the fact that the Nigerian government and the Nigerian people or the Nigerian authorities have not been able to say a word. My question now goes to Abike Dabiri. Where are you? Where are you right now? He's not Igbo. He's from Plateau State. We need to hear the Nigerian government take a stand. A 22-year-old man, boy, who is going to be graduating from the University of Pretoria in the next 1 month. His life was cut short for no reason, only because he drives an Uber, trying to just the short time being Uber by his passengers, a man and a woman. This is the picture of the young man. I don't know if it's Nigeria that drove them to leave Nigeria. I don't know if it's a situation, economic situation that drove them out of Nigeria. But as far as I know, this family, and I can stand to say again and again, his father I know very well. We were colleagues for many years. Nice, gentle man who would go to every extent to make sure that you are comfortable in the work he was doing with us. And it's sad for me to hear that after bringing up a son, and from the stories that I hear from people, because I did some research, they said the guy is just like his father. Gentle, nice, and all they got to pay for it is this. This time it's not Nigeria happening to him, but it's rather the fact that this has happened. What will be our response as a people of Nigeria, as a government? It saddens me so much because Mr. Satellite, this is his father, was one of those like us who paid for the freedom of South Africa. I don't know if our government is telling them that story enough. On the days when they had apartheid in Southern Africa, these same people, we paid. Sorry, give me some minutes. So this same Southern Africa that's treating Nigerians as if we are now a problem to them, when the same people who contributed millions and millions of naira, all of the freedom fighters of Southern Africa, call them the Mandelas, the Thabo Mbekis, the Jacob Zuma, none of them that didn't get substantial help from Nigeria. None. Not one of them. In fact, because of the position of Nigeria, Nigeria was called a frontline state because of our contribution. Nigeria was also fighting for the freedom and to the end of apartheid. Nigerian musicians and artists, writers, all to fight the fight of freeing Southern Africa. We remember the likes of Sonny Okosi, who sang all their heart out and said Africa will never be free until Southern Africa is free and apartheid is ended. We remember that Thabo Mbeki had a house, a very good lodge in Abuja, where they all come. They run from the fight, the struggle, and come and lodge in Nigeria. And today, Nigeria have become one of the people that Southern Africans don't want to see. And the government that will have is keeping mouth. My pain in this is that if government does not take any drastic action against this state, they have decided that Nigerians will be. In fact, to make it worse, my brothers and sisters, all the comment that you go to read under this gruesome killing is that they are telling us. I read over 100. Each of them, no one had anything good to say. All they are saying that more is coming if they will not go to their country. One even said, if you came to Southern Africa to school, how come doing Uber? That is stupid, very myopic thinking. That is what we get. And as long as the Nigerian government keep playing, using the kiss blow, it's not going to stop. Just like they said, more will come very soon. More will come. Are we going to wait for that more to come? Are we going to wait? Is the government not going to do anything? Shall we just keep mute and then wait for them to keep, killing our citizens? And we do nothing. It is Isaac Satellite today. It will be somebody else tomorrow. It's not a good story to tell, like I said, but to have to say it. The government of Nigeria cannot pretend not to have heard this news since. The diaspora organization set up, headed by Abike Dabre, should by now have given us an update concerning this young man and why they have to cut his life short. There's no gainsaying to say that Nigeria is not looking out for any of their citizens. I mean, we already know that. We know that, when you, whether you're in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, you're on your own. We know that. But when will this come to a stop? It's not one thing too many, one time too many. With that, I open up the gates and I ask our members to come in. So we'll talk about it and then we'll see how far we can discuss this very unfortunate situation that we find ourselves. If you guys know people from Plateau State, they are very peace-loving people. This particular guy's father, a deacon in the church, someone I know, like I said, very well. I've known him for over 20 years. And his family, very, very peace-loving people. And this is what he gets for trying to serve. I don't know how to say it any longer. That is what we have. That we want to see. Okay, that is what it is. That's what we get. All right, while I wait for you guys to come in, I get to say it as well. Our heart goes out to the parents, the family, Mr. David Satellite and his lovely wife, and of course, the younger sister, I think her name is Manuela. I pray that God will give them an understanding mind to even know what to say or how to react to this situation as it is.
Okudelio, nyekelanio. Olisa malugo koene menenua. Okudelio, nyekelanio. Chukuna malugo yobia diocha. Agaranya chogo kowe bili, agaranya chogo kowe rienio. Owe chuku bezie chuku. Nuche chukwa busigi fegemeo, nuche chukwa busia ifegemeo. Ni fosolo ne asi alibazie.
Okay, we are back. And I thought I saw recolonization right away. His camera is gone blank. Okay. All right. It's good to see you, recolonization. You followed the broadcast earlier, and you followed my opening this evening. What says thou, sir?
Yeah, thank you, KJ. In fact, I did for work, but I just get 5 minutes for my break to finish. You said well. Nigeria is in a very bad situation. Me and you know. Look at that guy where you show him picture and the story where you take back him up. This is the reason when we fight for Nigeria. I don't want to come to here to start to insult anybody or start to use languages. No. But Nigeria has gotten to a stage where we say, if na blow, we blow ourselves to repair Nigeria. It's worth it. Because people are dying every day and there's nothing is happening. People are being chased away from their ancestral homes. The government is doing nothing. That is why sometimes I would just want to say something. Dr. Damages ended his show by giving some example about the people who fit. Some ran to America because they gave up on England. Then some people stayed back, believing they could repair England. But the situation where we talk, it's not that the points or arguments where all these people they make be our problem. The reason why sometimes we challenge them is because we come from a very poor educated society called Nigeria. And Nigerians worship two things: money and prestige. Who is talking? You understand me, KJ? Now, which person they talk? Oh, now one guy where they America. Some Nigerians go begin they shake already. Anything where you tell them, you can fool them. That is why I and people like my brother, Comrade Omori, take the pains to tell those listening, please be careful from this type of people. Propaganda is a tool of deceit. When you allow this type of people the opportunity to they give you instances, Nigeria is not worth dying for, this is this and that, some people go carry them for their head. KJ, I don't work out for West Africa.
it gets some places where you go for West Africa, KJ, I swear to God, when you see Nigerians, they suffer. I asked one, oh boy, what do they do here? You think say better today for Nigeria, they sell pure water. He said then deceive them. They tell and say, na abroad, na better. So make and reach where he did. So this is why when I see this, our brothers or sisters, they carry this propaganda. Nigeria is not worth dying for, this and that, this and that. I feel compelled to tell them, this is what they talk, make una know they talk. Make I end, make other people talk. My pain be say when they will come begin the attack show. Innocent man where they do the job where God send them. Look, the brother will come today. Now so they begin tell him the question. Some people begin they ask the boy question. Person where don't sign, like soldiers sign. If I die, I die. He begin they ask him. This is what they do. They fear for what do you, I don't know how she put that question. Is Nigerian worth dying for? It just be like you see soldier where wear uniform, they go war. You begin to ask and say, make it go back. Make I leave now. My break time don't finish before they sack me for work because of Nigerian problem. Thank you.
Okay.
I go down.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We really appreciate it. Every time you put in, is appreciated. Even if it's just 1 minute.
Make a background.
All right, thank you so much.
Let background so that I go there listen to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. Yes, thank you, Tony. You are welcome. You are welcome, Shaibu, and if you are welcome. This is the picture of one of the killers of Isaac Satellite. This girl that you see, and their reason is that he's a Nigerian, and one of the other things is that they should leave South Africa. Well, I don't want to mix issues here, and I don't want emotion to be involved. But I think this is the greatest, one of the worst things that you can do to a man.
22 years.
22 years old, young boy, and the only son of his father.
Hi.
So you can imagine the pain I'm feeling because I know them.
You know them?
Personally, I know them.
Yeah, because I was listening to this guy that lives in South Africa, and he knows them one-on-one. He said that his father has been in the hospital due to hypertension, that his blood pressure has been over 200.
Yes.
So they are asking for money to repatriate his body back to Abuja. I think he's going to school to be automobile something, finally to go to Canada.
Yes.
To further his studies. That's really sad because that boy fought for his life. I could barely watch that video from the beginning to the end without having chills and goosebumps. I don't know how people can be so callous over a car, and threw his body away.
Yeah, but they eventually abandoned the car if that's the problem.
Yeah, they abandoned the car. They saw the car first before they saw the body.
Now, my pain is that no South African who has made any comment that I read that had any regret for that action. Rather, they were saying people better go back. If you don't go back, more is on the way.
So again, it boils down to everything we are saying here on this social media, on this platform, and what people are saying about. Tony, good evening. Sorry, Yakub, good evening, everybody. Okay. It's literally the same thing we've been talking about. Imagine South Africa. Imagine South Africa. The question you got to ask yourself, how many South Africans are in Nigeria? How many of them are in our country? But most people are there. I've asked some of them, what are you guys doing? In fact, one of our neighbors from our place, and the last time I spoke to his mom, he said, Ifi, Tochukwu has been there for 10 years. He has not given me kobo. And I've asked him to come back. He said no, that he cannot come back. How can he come back empty-handed? 10 good years he's been in South Africa. doing nothing, literally. I mean, the only thing they do there, excuse my language, is, you know what I mean? That's the only thing they do there. And it's just in the hands of few. So I don't understand. Come on, South Africa telling us to go back. So you see, and because of our leaders, anybody can talk to us anyhow. You know, I was just somebody were just having a conversation, and she said, if they don't want you in America, they don't want you in your country. I said, I've got to be hanging like a bat. You know, I don't belong to anywhere. I will be hanging. You know, in as much as we are talking about it and we are laughing, this is not fun. It's not even funny at all for us to be saying these things. Come on, Namibia. Namibia, the other day, they were trolling Nigerians. They gave Nigerians woto. There is nothing they did on social media, on X. There is nothing they did not call Nigeria. Somebody was like, generators will be all over. You can't even hold a conversation. You people are coming to come and see light, come and see water, come and see this. Namibia, woman is their president. Eh? Come on, Namibia is trolling the giant of Africa. And we are here fighting who will be the flag bearer. We are here shouting who is going to be. Why would we even be talking about invasion? You know, if our country is good, Switzerland, they haven't fought any war in how many years? Switzerland, even Finland, most of these countries, they're minding their business. If you're minding your business, nobody will come and fight you. We will allow China to come to our country and be digging our mineral resources.
Okay, thank you. If we'll come back to that. Mr. Tony, you are welcome. You can either start with the initial issue we're discussing, which is journalism in Nigeria and the high-handedness of those in authority who have made it almost impossible to practice, or you can speak to Mr. Isaac Satellite, okay, who was gruesomely murdered. As the whole world is seeing it right now, so it's not nothing that anybody can say that Nigerians are not seeing it, and the Nigerian officials are not seeing it. The High Commission in South Africa, they're not seeing it. The ones in the internet. So what are we waiting for to respond, Tony? That's my question I'm asking you, because you used to be close to those people. What are you waiting for to respond? Is it true?
I used to be close. Yes, I used to be close to them. I wouldn't deny that. I used to. Well, yes, you're right. I used to be close to them. I won't deny that. But you see, this is a very, very sad development. You know, the Nigerian is not killed because he was into some illegal business. He was going about his legal business, and the law should be able to protect him. Now, I know that crime rate in South Africa is also high. Particularly, I don't know where this happened. You know, but in places like Soweto and so on, I think the crime situation is very, very high. Unemployment is still a problem. So those are some of the issues that the government is trying to deal with because of their past history. The hope of a country that will bring hope and succor to the people as was expected, you know, that dream, you know, hasn't quite materialized. And so the blacks are still going through quite a lot of issues. And they are foisting these things on foreigners, for instance, who they feel come and take their jobs. As you know, a lot of Nigerians are there in South Africa. But I don't, and there has been this xenophobia, you know, killings of foreigners, particularly Nigerians, you know, some years ago. And I think it had to take some diplomatic effort to stop it. But South Africa sees itself as a rival to Nigeria, you know, in almost every aspect. So when they see a Nigerian, they see a rival. I used to watch some videos where somebody was complaining that the Nigerians are taking all the beautiful girls in South Africa. Their girls are going after Nigerians, and they won't stand that. You know. Anyway, but what worries me, like you said, is when things like this happen. We have an embassy or high commission, whatever it is there. I don't know if that embassy has the ambassador. There's an ambassador, a high commissioner there, as yet. But they must be share their affairs. Somebody who is staying in. When things like this happen, that is if they have a proper documentation that this is a Nigerian with the embassy. I expect that the embassy would take it up, inform the Nigerian government. They can't take it up. And this is something that any country that is worth its salt, if it's an American, of course, by now, you see real trouble, you know. So that's what I was saying, you know, in the first session, that the life of every Nigerian matters. And so when you see that your country is ready, knows where you are at every minute, and whether you are wrong or right, your country will stand for you first. Okay? That's the tradition everywhere. You know? They can, after they have extracted you from that issue, then they can now warn you or deal with you, you know, that kind of a thing. And that's what I see, you know, where I am being done, you know. But it's unfortunate that this has happened. And maybe the government is still, we don't know, maybe there's a quiet diplomacy going on. We don't know. We haven't heard from government. We haven't heard the other side. We haven't heard the entire story. I should think that by now, South African authorities will conduct an investigation to find out what really happened, you know, and do the needful if it's compensation, and then, you know, try sanction whoever is found guilty or culpable. You know, that's not going to bring back the child, but that's best practices that we expect. But I also expect Nigeria, you know, to stand for its citizen and to say, you know, what happened, we'll give you so number of days or weeks or something to immediately respond to this query or so, or we'll sanction you. But again, I don't think that this particular incident represents the South African view about Nigeria. I don't want to. This may just be people who are just acting on their own. I don't think that it represents how the government of South Africa feels about Nigeria. Because I hear Malema, for instance, who is an opposition person, when he speaks about Nigeria, you know, he speaks with a lot of respect for Nigeria and the role that Nigeria played in the entire South African you know, we almost died for South Africans. Some of them were, when I was in the university, they were with us in the university. Some of them were enjoying free education. Nigeria, you know, stood against America and Britain over the issues of South Africa. You know, apartheid in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, in Botswana, Angola, and so on and so forth. So Nigeria, you know, sacrificed quite a lot, resources, men, diplomacy, and all that, and step on toes. You know, BP, for instance, we know what happened to BP, you know, British Petroleum at the time, you know, so that was when our foreign policy was vibrant, and that was when people were ready to, you know, stand for Nigeria. Africa was the focus of our foreign policy. But that said, I also am wondering, why is it that Nigerians are always having problems, you know, within the West African sub-region and Africa? You have had problems in South Africa, you have in Ghana, you have in Botswana, you have, you know, so many other places. You know, some of these countries are those that we have helped in the past. Some of these countries are countries that we have accommodated. You know, Ghana, for instance, when they had a major problem, you know, a lot of them, you know, came to Nigeria, took up jobs. Some of them still haven't gone back. They married wives and so on and so forth. Nigeria, you know, was offered almost everything to them, even Cameroon. So I'm wondering, why is it? What is happening? Why is what is it hate for Nigeria? What is it that Nigerians are doing that suddenly these same people that we spent a lot for our resources and hard-earned taxpayers' money, why are they now? Why is the sight of Nigerians, you know, something that offends them, or sight of Nigerian businesses, you know, creating, who come there and do some good jobs? Yes, there may be one or two who are doing dirty jobs and doing some, you know, those ones, yes, you know, they should come back. They can jail them, or, you know, the law should not spare them. But for those who are doing, you know, contributing to their economy and helping them to build up their, why would they attack them? Why would they kill them? You know? So That keeps me wondering. Something is a puzzle to me that I haven't found. Is it jealousy? Is it something that we are doing? And I understand my Nigerian people. The way we are. We're boisterous. We dominate. You go into a place, you own the resources, you own shops and so on. And people, South Africa also has it. Has some very big companies, MTN, ShopRite. Many of them came in here. We didn't have issues with them. Airtel, is it? And so on and so forth. So my problem really is there something that we're doing that is offensive to these people? If there is, then I think we better, turn around, and begin to behave well. Know that you live in people's country, and there's certain conduct that will be offensive, to them if you do them that are not best practices. So I leave that at that. Let us wait and see what Nigerian government is going to do about this death. It's not about whether he is Igbo or Yoruba or something. It's about this is a Nigerian life. This is a young boy whose life is cut short. And we have had these issues happening. You just reported it. There's so many others in various countries, even within Nigeria, that just die like that and nothing happens. But again, if you look back home, you would say, how does the Nigerian government treat its own people? How much? If you are talking, hundreds die, 500 die. What has Nigerian government done? So now think about one person who is outside the country. Those are issues that we have to answer. Whether we have a government that is responsive to every life of a Nigerian, whether within Nigeria or outside. So I think that's why I say there's a need for us to look at this whole entire system, because things are not working the way they should work.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. As for why Nigerians having, the only reason why Nigerians have issue outside is nothing but envy. You see, most of the time, success attracts envy. That's one. And the Nigerians, people like to struggle. I know Mr. David Satellite personally. I know his wife, and I know their 2 kids, which is Isaac and Emanuela. And I know that the guy's hands are clean. I can tell you that without, I know him. Like I know myself. He's a very clean, straight guy. Okay. And going to Southern Africa was one of the reasons why he went there. First and foremost, it's part of his evangelism. He's also not evangelist, but one of those people who work very closely with the missions in other countries. So if my pain is that the rubbish coming from the citizens of Southern Africa. This man and myself, when we were in primary school, we were part of those people who contributed money for the freedom of Southern Africa. We fed their freedom fighters. We housed them in our country. Nigeria was called a frontline country, frontline state, as it were called those days. Even though we're in West Africa, we are regarded as one of the frontline states in Southern Africa, fighting against the end of apartheid practice in Southern Africa. And Nigeria never slept one night until we made sure that that system was dismantled. The problem we are having here, Tony, and I want to answer your question directly, that we'll have a weak and irresponsible government. That's the reason why even Liberia, where some of my friends laid their life down in fighting in ECOMOG, today can look at us and say rubbish to Nigerians. That is why countries like Sierra Leone can look at Nigerians and say rubbish. And we have had government that cannot respond almost immediately to that kind of actions. And so many more will come. It's just a question of time. They will say, okay, you can treat the Nigeria anyhow, and nothing will happen. And it will keep going that way. I'm so pained because, you see, if you had 10 children and maybe one pass, you can cry a little bit and say, God, you gave and you have taken. But when you have a son, just one son, and then that one is, this happens, I don't know what you're going to say to the person. I don't know what you're going to say. And then even hear what if he's saying they're even looking for money to begin to. No, the government should be fully responsible for this. But I'll stop there and let Yakubu speak.
Yeah, hold on, Yakubu, sorry. Solomon, I don't know if you know him on social media. He lives in South Africa. So he's the one that said that I think they're looking at 70,000 their money, rams or whatever it is, to send the body back to Nigeria. So there is a web link because I followed the case and like I told you, I couldn't even watch till the end of the, I didn't know he only two of them, a boy and a girl. That's very sad. Thank you, Yakubu. Sorry about that.
No, thank you. Good evening, KJ. Good evening, Ife, Tony. Good evening, Janaba. With very deep regret, I still remember February 11, 1990, when we were all jubilating, that the great freedom fighter Mandela was released from prison. I still remember how it was that day. And then February 11, 2026, exactly, we have a Nigerian on live dash cam getting murdered by South Africans. If you pair the two pictures together, it doesn't, go very well. Like, where did it start degenerating? We were jubilating in 1990 for Mandela's release, February 11. In fact, we were even happier than the South Africans, if I still remember. So what does this tell us, basically, as a people? What does it tell us? We've lost, as far as I know, as far as I can understand, we've lost the connection that keeps us together as human beings. Because for me, it takes great courage to actually hold a man with life in his body and watch life drain out of that person and not flinch. From the dash cam, there was no iota of a crime being committed by those two people. In fact, it didn't, from what I could deduce, it was like a normal day for them. There was no remorse from the lady sat in front of that vehicle. There was no, okay, stop. No, there was nothing. The only thing there that happened was that they saw it to the end. They made sure that they snuffed the life out of that person, a human being with life, not a goat, not ram, not sheep. And then they ended a lineage, at least if I'm to look at it from the patriarchy side. They ended that quietly. No repercussion, no thoughts, no consideration. As far as they are concerned, all they wanted was to get possession of maybe his phone, a few rands, maybe his wristwatch, maybe his sneakers, because usually that is usually the thing that attracts such group of people. It's those things that can be disposed quickly for quick fix. Look at the picture. This lady here does not look like someone that is disabled to start with. Her two hands are there, her two legs are there, her two eyes are there. What's her problem, if you ask? What's her problem? Where is the dignity in labor? I mean, where does it say that it is a shameful thing to go and... The way I see it, you see, this consumerism, materialism, and the pursuit of filthy wealth, one, and then two, the display of it, the flaunting of it, the showing off of it in the face of people are the two factors that will continue to encourage this kind of behavior. It will not stop. Because from the top of the ladder, the people that are supposed to do the right thing are making sure that they are doing exactly what their heart desires, which is to continue to plunder, to loot, to pillage without repercussion. Because if the law starts to treat them from the top the way they should be treated, I can assure you that there will be a normality that will fall through the whole line all the way to the bottom. You see, it will not stop. Let's call a spade a spade. All these ones will not stop because the world is so deep. Do you know that there's one craze now that kind of just surprises me? Every 6 months, there's a new mobile phone that comes out. And people, in their wisdom, believe that they need to upgrade their phones. And the question I ask myself is, what happened to the last phone? Why do you need to buy the latest phone? What functions are in the last phone that are missing in the new phone? What functions are in the new phone that are missing in the last phone? Because I don't seem to understand the craze for material things. That was what I was talking about, our culture and our tradition earlier on. I was saying that because in those days, when we have journalists, when we have town criers that come around to give us information, we cherish them because that is how everything that needs to be done in a coordinated manner gets done. It's from the information and it filters from the palace down through the town crier down to the people. And that is the function of the journalist. The journalist is like the town crier. The journalist is there to inform us, educate us, probe those people up there, and find out why certain things are not working the way they are working. But when you begin to treat those people as pariahs, you begin to jail them. What information are you trying to send? You're trying to tell the people now that, no, we don't want information decimated anymore. Instead, even if information is going to be decimated, let it pass through the official route. Let us be the one to censor it. It is what we tell you that you work with. You're not helping because if you look at, I ask myself, how many African countries are highly developed? And the question why I asked that was, I was trying to see why most European countries, despite the fact that they also do some of these things and get away with it, they are still advanced. Why are we not advanced? And I asked myself, I said, look, it's simple. I don't need to even think too deep. It's very simple. The more you continue to suppress people, the less of their best you will get. And the less of their best you get, it is the worst of them that will continue to rule you. And that's exactly what is happening now. The best of us are being suppressed by the worst of us. How do you expect such a structure to work? These are questions that you ask yourself. How do you expect such a structure to work? I have seen some citizens in South Africa, despite the fact that it's you know, it seems to be one of the developed countries in Africa. And I've seen how it's been structured in such a way that there is this polarity. There's a part that is not developed, and there is a certain kind of people that live in those areas, and there's a part that is developed, and there's a certain kind of people that live in in those areas. And I ask myself, why? Why should it be that way in a country that you call yours? Why should you have such polarity in your own country? Why should one side of the country have the best education, the best jobs, and then the other side of the country have the worst education and the worst jobs? You are not sustaining the society, because all you're doing is you're balancing friction. And at the end of the day, there will be a clash. And it's that clash we are seeing now. That's why I say it won't stop. Because already the imbalance is from the root. It's not the branch, it's from the root. The imbalance is from the root. And as long as that imbalance remains, there will always be. To cap it up, Abike Dabri, she responded through her spokesman. You know, they want justice. They want those people apprehended. They want them prosecuted in court. They've done their part. But the family wants the body of Isaac repatriated back to Nigeria. That's where I think the government of the two countries should come together and work together to see that happens. Because to me, it won't be too much if the South African government, out of courtesy, decide that they will foot the bill of repatriating the body, since clearly what's it called? The crime itself shouldn't have happened in the first place. You know, that is all I'll have to say, because my heart is heavy. Why is my heart heavy? All these things will continue to happen because the world is so imbalanced. It's so imbalanced that no matter how much we talk about it, we'll keep having the same. It's structured that way. So it looks like it's created that way for a reason. You know? So it will continue to happen. That's just the truth. It will continue to happen. And it's unfortunate. Thank you.
KJ, we are not hearing you.
KJ, you're muted.
Okay, can you hear me at all?
Yeah, now.
All right, I'm sorry. Don't know how the thing got to mute itself. Thank you for your take. Let me tell you something. If I was in position of authority today, I would have probably by now recalled the High Commissioner if we have anyone. Because I think something needs to give. If not, you know, about 2 weeks ago, there was another Nigerian that was killed. Less than a month ago, another one, you know, in different circumstance. But even at those ones, let us make it, you know, forgive. Let us say, let us, you know, let it flow. This particular one for me was deliberately done. And when I mean deliberately done, they just wanted to waste that guy. And I would not, if I was in a position to take action, I would even go as far as threatening to close down the embassy of Nigeria in Southern Africa. Because this needs to be discussed. It's not a question of paying compensation alone for this debt. It's a question of making sure that if Nigerians cannot be protected in Southern Africa, then we should equally, just like America used to do, ask our people to leave and then shut down their own. Look, South Africa have made more money from Nigeria than we have made from Southern Africa. Because we know what MTN is doing here. We know what DSTV is doing in Nigeria. We know there are other companies, ShopRite and the rest of them, what they've been doing in Nigeria. We know that they're not selling the best of goods, but we'll keep quiet. So it's not as if we don't know. So it's not only Nigeria that we lose if we have to leave Southern Africa. And I think it's time for the government to take a drastic action, okay, concerning this. I don't think we should lie low. I don't think so. But anyway, that's my opinion. Let's hear from Janaba because, yeah, let's hear from you. Yeah, Janaba, are you with us? Because I think it's quite a disgrace that we take all this and not do anything about it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, KJ, for having me. It's always a pleasure. I mean, the South African issue is sad. There's no excuse. I hope the Nigerian government will strongly condemn it, and they will be hold accountable to the fullness of the laws those officers that are responsible for the killing of this young man. I also want to say that Nigerians, we are good people around the world. The only place where Nigerians cannot live to their full potential is in Nigeria. And the reason it's not that hard. We don't fight back that much. The society where the leader is not afraid of those that they are leading, let's say 1 million people, one person will oppress them and nothing happened. Something fundamentally has broken. And until we come to understand that those, even back home in Nigeria, those policemen, those politicians, they are part of the society. And they are not living in heaven or out of reach. That there we know that the citizen will rise and there will be consequences since there's a total breakdown of the law and order. But as far as we think it's the government or somehow it's because we are not respected outside because of our government, it can be part of it, all can be right at the same time. But I think it's time for us to advocate for empowerment of every citizen. I don't know where this guy from California has gone. He was telling me the last time what happened when I was telling him about the healthcare issues. I don't know where he gathered his own information. He may not be wrong, but doesn't mean that that is not what happened in my own story. But then the point is that people should be afraid of their consequences, that the people you are serving, you are not greater than them. But it's only in Nigeria that a thief will become honorable when you know for sure that this councilman, this House of Rep, this your governor is a crook that took millions of the citizens and empowered themselves. Who did they use to cause confusion? It's one of the citizens. The people that surrounded themselves, the Agboro and all those brutal people, they are part of the citizen. They are part of the society. So, where fear is used as a tool to suppress the citizens and the citizen cannot push back, uh, there is what is called between the wall and the hard place. When will the Nigerian citizen will say enough is enough? I heard them the last time because Nigerians were easily brainwashed and we are very gullible that when we love somebody, we cannot say put things in a context because there are things that even we as an individual, Paul said that the things that he hates to do, that is what he does, which means it's a weakness. But only in Nigerian that we think somebody is perfect. We're saying the other time that mobilizing the citizen to protest is a big message. Why did they suppress medias and all of that? It's because they know that when they create more awareness, it put pressure on them. I hear these UK people who come on the line say, no, it's a old faction. Where is old faction? Where do you get that from? Because what they say is that once you say things and you are not in their clique, and I'm not that person, they should have known me by now. Hundreds of millions of people will not change me. I'm very open to learn, but because of your naive view, I'm not going to change because if I was there, I would tell you there are things now I will give up for you as a KJ, a journalist. There's more experience you have seen. I'm not going to come and argue with you. So, and in that field, in that context, I will give up. But what things that I know for sure is working, and you are trying to demonize or just to find an excuse because one of your candidate is not doing it and you don't want to say anything. That is also part of Nigerian issue. It's all about candidate. Who among Nigerian politicians that you going to swear for? Say this guy is this, is that. So look at the Benue governor. It's a reverend father. What have we done for the ordinary Benue people till today? That one you still going to blame Boko Haram or bandit? You don't have control what people do, but you have the responsibility to react to what people will do to you. The consequences of what people will do to you is what they think. It's not what they will do. Anybody can even pull a gun and shoot you, whether you die. But there will be rest assured that anything happen to you, they will face the consequences. That's what will hold them back. But in Nigeria, it's only country that we talk so much and we blame people, all of that, but we don't take fiscal responsibility of our environment. We see things happening, and once it's not affecting us, we are very selfish in our approach. And let's get out of that zone. Let's teach our people. I hear one pastor, Suleiman, I think I saw him a clip from his message, and it sweet me so much because he was saying that Europe now they stop going to school and must go to church and all of that, and in Africa we used to have power that when something happened and there will be a message to the community and a cost if the person do not come, and somebody will come back to say yes I did it or something will happen. Say where is that? And that's why you see this manipulated miracle because people still believe in power. Power still exists. We have different kinds of power. Which country in Africa today that cannot be wiped out by the world power in a minute? Because we don't have the machinery. We prefer to go to Mecca to pray and go to Israel to pray instead of empowering our own people. And we spend billions to sponsor federal money to sponsor for those things. And it's okay. As far as you're a Christian, it's okay. As far as you're a Muslim, it's okay. But that is not who we are. We are traditionalists. We are pagan by nature. There's nothing wrong with being a pagan. It's just the way you practice it. And this is part of the culture. In Benue, in the way I speak for Ochei Doma as it is, in Ochei Doma, what happens is that when you even have done anything evil that nobody sees you, in those days when the throne is powerful, you don't go to Ochidoma Palace because something will happen to you that will make you. Now he's a Christian. He's a deeper life member. So I used to ask them, so if I go, will I still drink my wine in the palace? So this is the water down of our institutions that work for us, like Yakubu have been mentioned. And then we keep looking down on, they keep looking down on us around the world. I don't think it's done in collective body. These people are a victim of whatever happened, but Nigeria is still respected around the world. We are still, some of these are just pure jealous. Our swagger is still the same, just like KJ jealous me sometimes. So I'm just joking, that. So
I understand
Nigeria
you,
is still
John. I don't have a
respected
problem
around
with
the world.
that.
Nigeria is still respected around the world. Our swagger, all those African countries cannot just stand it. It's not that they have anything to hate us for. You cannot apologize for who you are. That's the least you can do. So Nigeria is still respected around the world. South African people who kill our brother, offer apology. The people that did it should be held accountable. Our government should speak for us, at least. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much, Jonaba. And there's sometimes that when you finish speaking, we just say, "He who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying." Okay, Sister Ify, maybe you round up on this issue of Isaac Satellite. I find it difficult to call the name because I know these guys. I mean, Mr. David Satellite worked with me for more than 7 years. More than 7 years. Yeah, for more than 7 years. Sometimes, I go when we're traveling and we pass through his house. I know his family. I just know all of them. It's one of those plateau guys. Plateau people, when they are good, they can be good to a fault. One of those people who is good to a fault. It will make sure that you are comfortable. Make sure that even here where I've been in the States, I've spoken to him like 2 or 3 times. Even though we have not been close for maybe the last 10 years. I'm still in contact with him. That tell you how he was able to impact us, those of us who work with him closely. Even though he was a much junior officer, but we are relating with him as friends. That to tell you how very responsible he is. Himself and his wife, was one of the right-hand man of Bishop Praise. If you know Bishop Praise of Dominion Chapel, in the north there, Bishop Praise is not a small, it's not an archbishop, I think, or so, but very nice guy. So I feel very pained it's a personal loss to me. It's a personal loss to me. Anyway, if you go ahead.
The worst thing that can happen to any parents is the loss of a child. And I think this death would have been different if this guy was sick or maybe dying in accident, something tragedy. But this is more than a tragedy, to be honest with you. It's not that he's doing drugs. He was just out there hustling. It boils down to our Nigerian government. He was going to school there. Tell me how many South Africans that you see in Nigeria going to school? How many? How many international students do we have going to school in our education system? But most of our students, for example, I think 2 weeks ago, government of Ebonyi State sent some students to UK to go and do their masters. And I'm like, what for? We are still slaves. I hate to say this, we are still slaves. How many British people have you seen, come down to Nigeria to go to school, whether elementary, primary, whatever it is? I always say to myself, in as much as, yes, I like here, but this is not home for me. I said it so many times. Whenever I'm going to Nigeria, it seems as if I've won a lottery. Whenever I'm coming back, once I get to that Murtala Mohammed Airport, you will see my face, everything about me. Sometimes I cry. They'll be like, why are you crying? I say, you will not understand. You will not understand. Imagine if this guy would be like, imagine if he's in Nigeria, he would have been alive and Is it a bad thing for somebody to visit another country? He didn't do anything wrong. Huh? Look at our present government. 4 years, almost 4 years, no ambassador, most of these countries. Ambassador, you'd be surprised that that's South African. They don't even have any Nigerian representatives there. And nobody, it will just gonna sweep it under the carpet. The government is not gonna do anything. It's just gonna be like, highest 1 week, this conversation is over. And we move. Next, because it's none of their business. Most of them, their children go to either UK or London or America to go to school. They don't go to Nigerian schools. Most of them. Most of them. Like John Abba said, Nigeria, honestly, we are so blessed. If Nigeria is good, Nigeria should be the best country, even better than where we are now. This country where we live in. Nigeria should be the best country on earth. We don't have natural disaster. The only thing we are dealing with is just our political leaders. Other than that, that country is so blessed. We have everything what it takes to make that country great. We do have it. But the greed will not let them. And you keep asking yourself, how much can you have in your account? At the end of the day, look at Sani Abacha. We are still receiving money from the money he looted when he was president. How many years ago? He died more than 20-something years ago, right? Or 20 years ago. But we're still receiving the funds he looted. Imagine if that money, if they have used that money to fix Nigeria. Do you know where we'll be? Huh? How many of our foreigners, American citizens, they usually come to Nigeria, or politicians come to Nigeria to receive healthcare? They don't leave. How many of the British, other European countries, even other African countries, come to Nigeria to receive healthcare? Nigeria, if you're sick, I mean, you're dealing with, I don't have money to go to see a doctor. This guy didn't do anything. He didn't do anything wrong. I don't know him. Imagine hustling 22 years, maybe to support his mom and his younger sister. Who knows? And then go to school and save up a little bit of it. And look at it. I cannot even imagine, KJ, honestly, what his parents are dealing with, or his mom. Imagine bringing your son in a body bag for you to bury. I bet you his father will not go back to South Africa. He will move back to Nigeria. Because what is it that he's doing there? Even if his missionary job, I'm sure he will be done. How can we move forward? I know Nigeria is a great country. I know Nigerians, we are great people. It's just very few Nigerians are the ones, giving us bad name. But we are still great people, trust me. KJ, I don't know about you, but whenever I see one person, if you're speaking that for, my sister, my brother. If you're in the hospital, you need something, and you say Nigerian doctor's name. Hey, oh boy, my brother, beg, help me do this thing. Just like that. It's like somebody that you've known forever and ever. Or you're going here and you're speaking Igbo. Person will say, one name, my Niger person. It feels so good. You turn like, my brother, how you doing now? That is one thing I can tell you about Nigerians. No matter how these fights we come on social media to fight. When we see each other outside this country called Nigeria, trust me, there is that bond that we have. There is that bond that we have. And that's why sometimes I wonder, what are we even fighting for? Why can't we unite together against these people? When I went to school, when I went to UNN, I remember there are this lady, the girl from Cameroon. He came to UNEC to go to school. That was then. Not anymore. Not anymore. I used to say that the hospital I work in, we have a lot of Nigerians. If you turn like this, turn like that. The unit I used to work on night shift, 90% of all of us there are Africans. 80% of us are Nigerians. We were untouchable because we cover for each other. If anything happened, call this person to come and write a statement. The person will deny and tell you that, I don't know, I wasn't there when it happened. And they will take their bag and leave. We were so united. I'm telling you, we are so united. We cover for each other. That's why sometimes when we come over here and fight each other, I'm like, what are we even fighting for? We're supposed to be united together and fight the people that are fighting us. If you ask Wike, just like Chido Dinkalo, ask Wike one job he has ever held in his life. From local government chairman, from this to this, now FCT minister, governor, and all that stuff. Tell me one job. All of them. Even our president. Even our president. Tell me one job. They say he worked in oil company. Where is the proof? Where is the education? I don't have anything against our president, to be honest with you. But until we begin to tell ourselves the truth, most of the people in the National Assembly, they don't have the qualified education for them to be there. Certificate forgers and people who actually went to school are suffering. They cannot get a job. I was talking to my sister the other day. She said, education is just a waste of time. Everybody's learning trade. Even if you go to school, you come out here, you find something to do. My sister, she studied economics in Benin, but she never for one day used it to work. Now she's into construction. Did you hear me well? Construction, a woman. Construction. She tried fashion and designer, tailoring. This is where she found her passion. Construction. Just like in other people. It's not that we're not intelligent. We are smart. In fact, the smartest people, when you even talk about it, Nigerians. There is no country you go to that you not see 1, 2, 3. By the time you turn to your neighbor, left and right, you see one Niger. And just like Flavor said, if anywhere you go there and you don't see any Niger person, come out from that place. Come out, don't bother. Know that that place is something is wrong with that place. And it's true. There is no, everywhere you go in this country, you won't see one Niger. We are hardworking. When I mean hardworking people. But when we come on this platform, we are fighting each other.
Okay. Okay, Ify, thank you so much. I agree with you. The people we are fighting are the people who are in government. Unfortunately, we as the ordinary people have not realized that the people we are fighting are people who are in government, who are refused to allow the government to be used.
Can we unite together? That is the problem. You see, the people in politics, these politicians that we are fighting, like Baba Ahmed's brother said, they're not up to 5,000. They're not up to 5,000. Imagine if you have 100,000 people, let me not even say 1 million, storm National Assembly tomorrow. Trust me, you won't see them there. All of them will run away.
Sorry, that statistic, if it will be tested in this 2027 as we march along, whether it will be up to 5,000 that will come out or up to 10,000 that will come out.
No, I mean the politicians, the people we are fighting.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the people, not the politicians.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the politicians we people are fighting against. They're not even up to 5,000. The people that are holding Nigeria whole state.
So that Baba Ahmed says something which I think is key. They will arrest 1,000. They will arrest 500. But when you're 1 million, they will run out of town.
Oh, that 1 million
so
is even too
can
much.
we be able to mobilize 1 million and then remain in the street until what we want is done? That's another question, but we'll get there very soon. Mr. Tony, do you have a closing this before we move on to the story of Mr. Friday?
Well, I think the issue has been properly interrogated. Wanted to say that it is sad. You can bring back the dead now, even if you pay compensation or you confront the South African government. It's very, very sad. But nonetheless, I think it's proper for the Nigerian government to show concern for the loss of this soul. South African government has explanations to make, and there should be some sanction. They should be responsible for the burial, and if possible, try and compensate. How is that the right word now? How to compensate the family? How the child is gone, but there has to be something to be done. For the family, it's painful. I mean, it's sad. There's nothing else to add. This is sad. This is just a soul that is cut down for nothing. It's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I see CM. CM, let's get you in before we move on. Did you follow our introduction? And if so, what do you have to say?
Good evening, everybody. I didn't follow anything. What? Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't follow anything, but I think when Rudolph posted can I call it just like invitation or maybe what should be done today? Say it's a journalist who want to. Anyway, the story in fact I didn't follow the introduction.
Okay, the journalist was arrested, taken from Lagos to Abuja and then locked up. Yeah, his name is he was arrested in September 23rd, 2025. He was taken from his home in Lagos and rushed to Abuja. What will become a 6-week ordeal without trial. He was locked up for 6 weeks without trial. A Lagos-based journalist and the publisher of Nigerian News Today. Now, one of the things that happened also in Nigeria, which he said a bit, which I also faced. I faced that, but I dealt with it. The way I dealt with it was I went to NUJ in Abuja, and I said to them, "We want a branch. We don't want to join your this thing. We want our own branch." And they said, "Are you up to? I think is it 8 or so?" I said, "We are 18 in the office." And they said, "Okay." So that's how we got to register our own outlet. So what they normally do is because you are not in the mainstream. When mainstream, I mean everyday newspaper and all that, they will now say, when you have an issue, which is what happened to him, they will say you're not a journalist because they're not paying their local dues and they are not going to join them. Journalists have a weird way of behavior. If you go to their NUJ headquarters everywhere, you see a pepper soup joint, you see ECU joint. Of course, when they have gone around them all through the day, they come back and sit there. So most of those people who do not go and participate in those things are not very well known to other journalists. So, and that's happened to him also. He was told that he was not a journalist because he was not paying a local dues. Whether you see him every day in the NUJ office or not, he was still serving, the nation. And one of the stories he wrote was what brought him this problem with this young assembly member called Chinedu Ogah, who was a member representative, representing Izar East, Izar South, federal constituency of Ebonyi State. And this man has held an ordeal and held his feet to the fire. Not that he was doing something bad, but because he wrote a story that he didn't agree with. And the question now be, should we now, as journalists, not talk about things that will make the politician to sit up. Remember, the only work of a journalist is to be able to call the people who are in position of authority to account to the Nigerian people what they are doing with our resources. If the journalist fails in doing that job, then the whole system is totally, will go gaga, and I'm not going to say that there's total freedom in America, but to a very large extent, you can actually report, you can write stories that are true and factual here in America, and nothing will happen to you. We already know that the Epstein files are being reviewed, and many people are writing stories about them. And nobody so far, I've not heard anybody so far who said they are being threatened, harassed, imprisoned because they've written a story. Okay, having said that, Mr. CM, we also discussed about the young Nigerian who was murdered in Southern Africa. His name is Isaac Satlat, who was murdered by two passengers he picked up in his Uber taxi. And comments following that murder from the South Africans is that they are going to do much more than what we've even seen. So this is just the beginning. Well, you have the floor right now, Mr. CM. You have 4 minutes to comment on both.
Well, the thing is, I will only pass a general comment. Number one, that the journalist arrested in Lagos and taken to Abuja, are we still in the era of you can't try for whatever offense? The man cannot be maybe arresting from his house in Lagos, take him to the nearest police station, and then let the Lagos jurisdiction take his course. Why must he be rushed to Abuja? Maybe because of this, on the say-so of the legislator who is pressing charges, isn't it? So that is, to me, it's arbitrary. I don't see the reason why carrying him to Abuja. That is just what I.
The new crime, they introduced a cybercrime bullying and all that, which they now trying to use to muzzle journalists in Nigeria. By that, it means that once you publish a story, and I don't bring the person who told me, who gave me the facts, because I can't bring my facts to you anyway. Once you refuse to expose the person, then that story is termed to be a false story, and they will take you through the process of dealing with you. My question is to you and to every panelist: why is it that the Nigerian Union of Journalists and the Nigerian Bar Association all do not go to court or do not, test these laws that are made in places of in the course of law? Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, like you said, the question should be handled by, it's like a specialized question. The journalist should be able to come up with what the thing should be, and then because it involves, the law covers everything. Probably those who has the knowledge of the law can wade in. But I'm just talking from the layman's point of view, and I feel that knowing Nigeria the way it is, or the way I've known it, might is right. It's only in Nigeria that somebody will see you, maybe tell a point at you, say, policeman, I want this man arrested, and the police will arrest you and take you away. Just like that. It doesn't happen here at all. So on the South African, well, that is part of the hazards of the business, because I've had a situation in Nigeria where in those days you have a brand new car, using it for taxi. Armed robbers will like to snatch it from you. They will pose. They may even wear suit, carry a bit of suitcase, and hold newspaper. You think that they are accountants or maybe bankers that are going home. They will flag you down or come to you. Please, can you carry us to so and so place? And you agree. No matter any amount you say, they won't beat the price or haggle over it. They will agree to pay you, so that with a cheerful heart you carry them, only for you to get to almost like a cul-de-sac. As you are stopping, thinking they are going to pay you, they bring out a gun and then surrender you, push you out and take the car. then go and repaint it from Lagos taxi color in those days to what they want it to be. So the Uber chap in South Africa, I don't know. He's obviously he's been doing his business. You never know, he will meet a set of criminals or armed robbers like that. Now, what will order, because the deed has been done. So going forward, what lesson will people learn from it? Probably Uber drivers. It could be a case of I don't know whether they have the connectivity as you are loading, because here I've used Uber a lot of time. The Uber driver told me whatever the day he picked me up, the way he picked from the office, from the police station, they know, so that if they need to do audit trail, everything will be found out. So I don't know how it is in South Africa. Such things should be done, because if you are carrying, you are an Uber driver, you feel that the people you are transacting business with, going to drop them off, you think they're a normal human being. After all, they've booked your Uber through online, and then yours is just to complete the deal, only for them to now surrender, sort of, get hold of you and then take your life and probably take the car. So this has to go wider. There should be a review of the procedure in South Africa. That's what I will suggest. They have to go do a thorough review with knowing where there are loopholes, and then to tighten it up in view of health and safety, and then to try use it also to fight crime. But as it is, it's a shame. And now that, like you said, they've sounded a note of warning that maybe more is to come. So to be forewarned then is to be forearmed. Something must be done so that it won't. Let them be the last people. Let the driver be the last person to suffer this type of harm, or that ended up taking his life. They've warned the government, or that they are going to do such again, which means they want the government to get ready and do something about it. So that's what I will suggest. There should be a thorough review, even as identity of who is doing Uber, the route to everything. There should be connectivity to the nearest police station, people entering, so that, and then like whether it's CCTV sort of something. There should be they should use technology sort of the way it should be used to fight crime. Or they could ask other countries in Europe, how do they do it? There's no harm, there's no shame in copying what is done in a nice, is somewhere good, and then you copy it and and then replicate it where you are. So that's what I would suggest for that South Africa. It's a shame, really. My heart goes out to the person who lost his life while on active duty, trying to earn a living, and then look at what happened. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. CM. Thank you so much. All right, let's dive real quick to the Nigerian situation. Now, let's look at. Well, I don't want to say, because I don't have the law. I will have put it on screen. Then we can look at it. But listening to what Mr. Friday said today, do you think, Tony? And I'm talking to Tony because Tony, you people are people who were part of this government. So. Yes. Do you think
this Tinubu government, is it Tinubu government?
No, not Tinubu government. Tony didn't take part in Tinubu government, but Tony has been close to the government to a large extent, so he knows the inner workings of these things. Why is that the Nigerian people in authority don't even want to see the journalists with their eyes? Once you get into a room and say, "Oh, here comes Tony, he's a journalist," then the whole room just goes silent and everybody's looking at you. What have you come to do now? What has it come to do now? One of the things that used to help us those days that when they have that, they run down stupid police checkpoints, and you just get there and say, "Yes, Oga, may I know you?" Say, "A journalist, I beg, make a kind of while they go. Before now, begin look for what you want to go right. Make they go. So why is that they don't like to see the journalists, especially those ones who they know will probe into the activities that they are carrying out? And what way can a Nigerian journalist, looking at what the picture that Mr. Friday has painted for us, how do you advise them to be able to go about their business so that we can get maximum results?
Okay, thank you. When you keep saying I'll be part of them, not necessarily. At the state level, yes. Some years back, yes. I can say that from Chinedu to Ambode. Yes, I can tell you there was some proximity. And, but now, no. Funny, but let's just rest that. Part of the problem is that you people are too troublesome. You journalists, you people, you are troublesome. And I say that with some respect. Now, even Musa in the gate doesn't say everything that he sees. It's true now. You people don't. Not be everything are supposed to be talk. The palm wine tapper says not everything that he sees when he climbs the palm tree that he
Then
divulges.
how will the society be better if they conceal important something that will help the society, basically fight crime, fight corruption. In fact, not corruption, but fight after kleptomania, after stealing. If they fail to publish it, how have they helped the society then?
Fair question. Very, very fair question. KJ, you have to, because I'm a novice when it comes to journalism. There's constructive journalism. And there's some journalism that tends to be destructive. And politicians don't like that. What just happened is really not a case of a journalist writing. It's a case of bad belly from a senator who is notorious for doing harm to people. So it's entirely a different question. It's not a government doing a wrong thing and then you publish it. This is just someone who is bad from what we hear, and he doesn't want people to reveal the fact that he's bad. And so anybody who does that is going to be in trouble. So it's a different thing. It's just like we saw with the guy in House of Rep who had an altercation with the Uber person. Okay, the things that happened there shouldn't have happened. But because I'm in authority, I deal with you. Who are you? And that's the kind of scenario that we're seeing here. I believe that there are media houses that will have some information and they will convey it to the government. Maybe not even publish it to say this thing, this. I mean, because they meet, they interact. There are fora where they interact. Most of the major newspaper organizations have a forum where they interact with government, maybe through the Guild of Editors or through NUJ or something like that. Because the goal of all these things is to promote governments, to help government when things are going wrong, to correct it, not to bring down, not to destroy. But you see, because our politics has divided the journalists, that industry, not only just all the institutions, you're either for this person or this person. So if you are for the government never goes wrong. If there's anything that you see that is going wrong, you don't publish it. If anybody who is just doing his work and feels that there's a need to write on this thing, if the journalist is pro-government and he gets, from time to time, gets a brown envelope from government, he's going to kill that this thing and maybe send you away to some other department or fire you. Okay, so these are some of the things that are there. But if there's a way you can still write about government and criticize something objectively, and any reasonable government will see that you don't mean harm. You're trying to highlight some things that are bad and that need correction. Unfortunately, we're dealing with the class of people who are egoistic. They don't even care. They don't want you to talk any. If you take someone like Umar here, mention his name. If you look at his pronouncement, look at the thing that he says when he was governor. In fact, we hear stories about him trying to flog people or flog civil servants.
So, Tony, are you saying that the reportings you are receiving is not responsible enough? Or are you? Because This is what you have from NTA, the days of NTA. And then if you went to journalism school at that time, you are told that our journalism should be different from that of a developer. Our own should be developing, what they call it now, developing stories. It was right now only about development, okay? Development journalism. The road is being done, you go and report about it. The house is being built, you go and report about it. And then once you step out of that forte, it means that whatever you're reporting, you are now going to talk about government. And NTA helped to standardize that by only reporting on what the chairman is doing, what the councillor is doing, what the governor is doing, what the president is doing. Before you, once that stupid music is done, the president, the general, so and so have done this. That's all you hear. Their movement, what they've said, but they're leaving the ordinary person. Now, when journalism moved from constant only paying attention to what government is doing and looking at what the ordinary person is going through every day, we became the enemy of the state. Is that what you're saying? We should always be talking about what the state is doing and leave what the people are going through?
No, that's not what I'm saying. You see, it's good that you have moved away from where NTA, the likes of NTA, have the sole repository. I mean, they're the ones that give the news, and when we didn't have this kind of decentralized news report tags that we get now, private people now into that industry, is a good thing. What I'm saying is, you see, if something happens, let us take the coup, for instance. The coup, that happened. Immediately, a private news organization, put out that information that there was a coup. A media person for the army denied it. Say, no, there was no coup. It was something different. Disgruntled people who failed the exam and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, it's possible that they would have reached out to that organization and threatened them. You understand what I'm saying? What the politicians are doing right now is any news that tends to expose their inadequacies, they are against it. They only favor the ones that promote them. The first lady went to America and Trump acknowledged her and spoke about her and so on and so forth. That's good news. But the thing that Trump said before that, they won't report that. They skip that. But the private media gives us a more balanced view, most of them, to say, listen, that's not the only thing that happened. Before that time, this is what Trump said about Nigeria. Okay? So, but what I'm saying is that, we are facing a situation where, right now, where if you publish something that the government doesn't like, you're a bad person. That's why I was saying that KJ them, they are bad people. I just being cynical. The problem in journalism, from the way I see, the way we do journalism, is also everywhere in the world. Good news doesn't really, what you call good news, doesn't really make news. It's the bad news. And the government doesn't want any bad news to be reported about itself. Government doesn't want to hear, for instance, if you are reporting that it's not true that the economy is turning around. They don't want to hear that there's 140 million people under multidimensional poverty. They don't want to hear that there are about 30 million out-of-school children. They don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of the situation. They don't want to hear that the insurgency, is getting worse, and it does seem that there's an increasing failure of the government to deal with this thing, because we hear it every day. So if you are a media organization that is reporting this thing, they tend to blacklist you and say, no, these ones are, even though you are telling the truth, no, these ones are the bad people. In other words, you would not see a reportage of these events from NTA and and the like, those who are pro-government. Those things they don't want to say. They can't say it, maybe because they are threatened, because they fear that they will lose their job or something like that. So that's what we have seen in our journalism today. I'm saying that that's not the ideal thing. That's not what should happen. But that even in reporting that, there should be a balance. That's what I'm saying. There should be a balance. If I tell KJ, who is my friend, I say, KJ, you didn't brush well today. Okay? he will tolerate it. But if someone else comes to say, KJ will take it as an insult. That's the kind of thing I'm saying.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I answered your question. I'm not saying that journalists are bad people. No, they're doing their job.
All right.
Okay. KJ, the question I have for you, or maybe you look at it, people accuse Nigeria, or people look down on journalism practice in Nigeria, because they say Nigerian journalists, they are just like an article of commerce. You pay them, they write. If you don't pay them, they may not write for you, or you pay them and tell them what to write, they write it. So, which I feel is no longer professionalism. How far is that opinion correct?
It's correct to a large extent, but the payment is, there are commercial news. You can pay for a commercial news. You can be doing an event that does not concern the newspaper, but you want it to be covered. You pay for that.
No. I mean opinion article. Opinion article.
Most of the opinion articles in the Nigerian newspapers that I know are not, because it's not one person that's going to write it. So it's not that commercialized. But you can say many in the newspaper, some articles may be tilted towards a particular individual's interest. But it's difficult to find an opinion on the Nigerian newspaper that is solely written to favor one person. They can write to favor government, but they will not write an opinion just to favor one person. It will be difficult. I may exist. I've never read anyone. Okay. You may also do a documentary that will favor one opinion that you are trying to canvass. But it is also that, of course, the people will pay for. Those are not something that you will say. You even some newspapers that are good, or some television houses will tell you that this is commercial. And once it's commercial, you know that you can go whichever direction that the person who is paying for it. I'll give you an example. One of the reasons why the journalist sitting in the Wike's monthly media party don't ask him certain questions, because he paid for it. He pays them huge money. Okay, he pays them huge money, and they are there, so they will give him that 1 hour, whatever he likes. Let him, even if he likes to be dancing and singing, they will be there, and they'll cover it for him because he paid for it. But if you step into their studio, they will now interrogate him with even more and more questions, which they will not ask him in such a media party. So that's
the fault people have with that weaker type of what you just example you cited now is we pay them, they will ask questions that maybe to favor weak, or give weak opportunity to yab or blast or insult. One journalist said that it's also incumbent on them to those people that Wike mentioned for balance. Maybe the man hasn't got money to pay, but how do they get to the man and say, look, we interviewed Wike so time, he says so about you. Do you have anything to say, or do you want to leave it like that? So do they journalists, because of balancing of news?
Yes.
So how do you handle such a situation?
Every journalist whose watch is onion, especially the people who were talked about, most times they reach out to those people who we can talk about for their balance. They don't leave it that way. And if you go into their studio and you go to yap other people, they will tell you right there and then that those people have the right of response, a reply. So if the people chose to, they will come and they give their own reply. If they don't want, they can leave it lying low. Many people have gone to the studio and they will insult and abuse and do other things. And then, the next day you see the people that are insulting come to respond. So it's for the journalists, it's a better way of, having, making sure that the merry-go-round, because it's giving us news. But other people don't see it that way. And sometimes there are some stations, before you go and speak on such current affairs, they say you have to pay some money. If they are inviting you, you not pay. But if you are inviting yourself, then you have to pay them for coming to bring such a news. So I think whichever way you look at it, it serves the society. But I want to let you know that if there's no journalism, there's no journalists in the streets to report what's going on, the society within 1 year will become a very autocratic and become very, 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 man eat man. The only reason why some people who are power drunk, like this legislator we're talking about, and people like David Umahi are power drunk. The only reason why they are being kept in check is that somebody may just see what they are doing and put it out there. Even Wike has the ability to become power drunk and go out of hand. The only reason why he sometimes slows down a bit is because he knows that he's just one step away from being captured in such an awkward situation, and that's why he guarded himself. But not because they can't. They have the ability to do that, and they have done it in the past.
KJ, do you think that those people that are invited by Wike, and I have a feeling that he carefully selects them, those who come, do you think that they can ask him any hard question?
That's what I said. They can't ask me any hard question because, in fact, people like Mr. Dahiru, who was once there asking some tough questions, he didn't want to answer those ones. They asked him certain questions which he didn't answer, and he would just go ahead telling those his stories. But of course, like I said, they can't stop him because he paid for your cameraman, he paid for you to be there, he paid for your equipment they're putting up, your lights, your camera, and every other person. So, and as far as the media organization is concerned, it's good money for them. They used to pay salary and maintain their equipment. So, and you don't want that to close. You want that door to keep open. So, as long as you people know that we're not the ones saying this thing, it is Wicked that is saying it. It's okay to take it.
So, if you ask him a hard question, then you stand the chance
of losing
your job.
Yes.
Because Wike will probably blacklist your media organization, and whatever money comes to them will not come to them again.
Yes.
He may not even stop there. He may even level one allegation. Trust Wike, level one allegation against you. You will be dragging that one.
There was once a man who wanted us to run his interview. Okay. I wanted to desperately get into our news circle because we are an international organization, and we refused. And for many years, he tried many ways to get in, but we refused to carry his story. You know what he did? He established his own media house and got his people to do his story. Okay, and that media estate is still running till the time of his demise. So, I'm simply saying that there are people like that who they want you. They know that you have a reach. We were reaching over 200 countries in the world. So he knows that we have the reach, and the rich can give him what he wants. But because we're not convinced to do his story and put in such a platform, we'll not do it. So there are many politicians like that who are in Nigeria who are looking for platforms to put themselves in and be able to get their information rightly or wrongly to the general public. Okay.
So what is coming out from this discussion now is, if you work for the Sun newspaper, Sun Nigeria, you work for the Nation newspaper, and we know that the ownership are politicians. Can you write something against the owners? Can you put out something there against a fact that is likely to be perceived as something bad about the ownership?
Let me tell you, the Sun, for instance, one of the accusations we have against the Sun, especially those from the southeast, is that Oji Zakali was using that to blackmail the members of the IPOB and all those people. So how can you write something against Oji Zakali in the Sun? Is it possible? It's not possible now. So you can only write about, and then those he perceived to be his political enemies, they can carry all kinds of news about them. Okay, but he will not allow you, or even the editorial board will not allow you to write something about him. Okay, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be possible for TVC to carry a news against Tinubu. It's not possible. It's not possible. If you go to the TVC station, and if you doubt me, you can go to Journalist Hangout and listen to what they are spilling out there. I used to respect that guy very much. I have worked with him on a UNDP project once, many years ago in Lagos. I mean, I just loved him.
Okay.
But since he started handling
Babajide,
yes, handling that
or something like that.
Okay, I just lost all respect for him. But he's a cool gentleman. I mean, I met him in Lagos. I was in to do this job for UNDP in Lagos for 1 week. I was in Lagos for 1 week for that. And we walked throughout, I worked closely. Not that I was working with him. He was there doing his own business for his own organization. I was there for my own organization. But after he started handling TVC, sometimes I used to ask myself, maybe he's the owner of TVC. That's why he's not, I don't know. But you see, he has not only lost some friends, he has also lost some credibility just by being in that station and saying all kinds of things. So that's how it is. I cannot start a station and then you talk about me. The organization I used to work for, the owner was a Republican. And so we are careful not to criticize the Republicans very, very much, because, he will allow to a large extent, but you couldn't come against the Republican view, although right now, it's going to be with the law, so they probably do that. But at that time, you couldn't report, very much against the Republicans. Okay. So that's how it is. It's difficult to have ownership and then the newspaper will in turn be attacking you. It's just like the Washington Post and New York Times and all that. These are Democrats, okay, owned by Democrats. You cannot see them talking about reporting negatively against the Democratic Party. It's not possible. Okay, they may stride and try to, even when the news is bad, they try to present it in a positive light, or if they want to even present it without they will just present it without going too deep and just give you a simple 2 lines. But after that, they will go back to say, give you a reason why that 2 lines they put there cannot be true. I want you guys to understand how the media works. And it's working here this way, it's working also. In fact, the Nigerian one is that we will just start from the beginning and write everything to suit what that. In fact, they say the soup no get pepper. We go write say the pepper there. I want to say on no tester. That is why it is bad.
So,
and so
you
taste your taste bud know the work.
Yes.
Now you've gone around the clock to see why, if there is aversion to seeing journalists in a room, like you said, you introduce yourself. This person may say, "Oh, I'm a this, I'm a that." When it gets to your turn, you say, "A journalist, I better carry your wahala go." So it's because of the fact that somehow they know that he who pays the piper dictates the tune, and if you can't pay the piper very well, he gonna give you tune when no the rhyme,
okay.
And that tune.
Let me give you.
And that tune when no the rhyme can on. Yeah, okay.
And this person talked about it. The last journalist we spoke to here. You see, in America and other developed world, the news is not being released by government. Journalists go out to search for the news, go to those places, and they are able to scoop the information they need and then publish. In our own case, you sit in your office because you don't have money for your organization to give you to going around and searching for news, maybe in a Worcester market or in Federal Secretariat. No, you wait for press releases. So sometimes the minister is calling a press release. All of you will go there and wait. At the end of the day, when he finishes talking his rubbish, he will give you the press release that he wants you to publish. Some newspapers will do so well to publish it verbatim. Others will spin it. Others will try to just pick it and do a news item. Then the electronic medias now will pick from what is there also to form the basic of their news. That's how it's done. In America, you see the total difference that here you do the work of journalism really. You go out hunt for your stories. Because they have the money, they have the ability to give you to go scout for the news. Okay. And most of the time, most of the journalists, when you write your story, nobody comes to tell you to spin it any which way. Okay, you already know what the house requires. You know the amount of bias they can accept. So you write it in that order, and you bring it, and it can fly. In our own, you hardly go out to look for stories, but they call news conferences. People give press releases, and then you can pick from that. And then those people who do beats, you wake up in the morning, your beat is the police news. You go to the police IG's office. Is there anything for us today? If there's something for you, they will tell you. If there's nothing for you, they will tell you. You will just search to find out where the information is going to be, and based on that, you can write your story. But you see, so it's totally a different story. And most times, I dare to say that, you know, what destroyed those days when we were in school of journalism, one of the things they tell you is that, you know, don't allow them to push you into this reporting only about development. Well, that's all you get. That's all the things you get. Nothing is happening. If you are in a local government, what are you going to be reporting? Because the chairman, for instance, I don't want to call them a local government. They only call one just beginning of the month and end of the month. So what are you going to be doing as a journalist in that locality? What are you going to be reporting? So you go there when the money have come, they divide it, finish. They tell you what to write. You take it, and then you go and write. You come back at the end of the month when the new money is coming. You tell you what to write. You write and go.
Okay, KJ, just like for in most professions, they have what they call a peer review, you know, and then you look in West. It's like what do I say? Something like internal quarantine or something. Just call it anything. In journalism in Nigeria, why I'm saying this is that against the backdrop of what I had Professor Patti Utomi said about Shenwokim Baloye.
Yes.
He said some of them ask questions. That is, the bias is so apparent. There is nothing really. I mean, even the deaf we hear it, or the blind we see it. You are asking a person. You know, they ought to be agents of development for a fair or a balanced society. You are asking a politician, your detractors or the disgruntled ones. What made them to be disgruntled? Who gave them that title? How would you prove they are disgruntled? Already, you, the journalist, who should have been an unbiased umpire, you've taken side. So that is the point part of what I was making. So what I'm asking now is, maybe we are not turning it up. It's like we are not the guest. So what I'm trying to say is that as a journalist, is there no internal mechanism whereby, you know, you now come and say, let's put ourselves. Let's see how we are doing as a journalist, or is it just like an all-commerce profession? Let's see how we are doing. So you under sanction, or maybe as a result, we can lawyers give themselves SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, based on their years of practice and your whatever you're doing. So in journalism, I'm trying to say, because if there is nothing internal you people are doing to, you know, sanitize yourself, let me say sanitize on quote, you know, do it like that, the public might really not
the Nigerian Union of Journalists, or the journalists in Nigeria, are one of those who are always doing peer review, because we have a way of gathering every evening, almost every evening. In fact, even weekends, if you go to the AUJ office, you still see journalists sitting around and all rubbing minds, talking about stories they've written. Some people will criticize you. They say,
no. That may no matter, although the venue is NUJ office, but the purpose that might be informal. It's like not, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like over a pot of a plate of soup and the beer. You people are just chatting. Okay.
TM, it's not like a college board where you come and bring your paper, then you have this. There's nothing like college board in journalism. Okay, that's because I know what you're looking at. You know, if you're in the university, there's a college board meeting where all lecturers come. Some bring their papers, and others, when you finish presenting your paper, they'll now, you know, some will make comment about it and all that. No, it doesn't happen that way. But the peer review, which I know, is that most senior journalists, people like Dahiru and all that, can meet certain younger people coming out and say to them, you know, that story you wrote, you could have taken it dimension, or you could done that. But that is done on an atmosphere of nice realization. Yes, not because it's a paper thing, you know. And then also your management may decide, the board of auditors may decide to, you know, give one or two advice here and there and all that. But those are because it's an academic work, so to say. So most times you have people who tell you this line you have taken, maybe you should spin the story this way or do it that way. That is there, but it not be say we will now have a time where everybody will come and sit in the room and say, okay, no, there's seminars and all that, except of course once in a while NGOs may organize seminars on and journalists who attend and all that, meant for journalism and all that. But I'm simply trying to say that most of the time, because of the situation that Nigerian journalists find themselves, it's not a well-paid or a paid job. It's a very high risky job, and it's not even a well-appreciated job. Most times when you say you're a journalist, people see you as, not having enough to eat. But I'm coming to what you talked about, Shehu. Shehu ordinarily, for me, as a consumer of news, doesn't come across to me as one of the best interviewers. The best interviewer that I like his approach to interviews is Chamberlain. Okay, I've always loved Chamberlain's approach, because he will ask you some of those questions I don't think he will ask. He will ask you right there until they start to try to slow him down. But with Shehu, yeah, I see that, what part of Tommy was talking about. I've seen it many times. Because when you take a position and you call somebody, it's called the people of Nigeria are disgruntled. I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Okay? And then you give that, now you elevate the politician you are interviewing to a higher realm, or for human beings, where you can now talk down on those people and calling them disgruntled. Well, that's all they can do. Let them go and make noise. We'll be chopping while they are making noise. Nobody will pick up that line and say, sir, why will you say Nigerian people they're making noise? Why you be chopping? I thought they elected you into this position. But those courage don't come overnight. It has to come with longer parties. People like Benga Aruruba will ask the kind of question, but now how many of those people go to him? They will not go to him. People like Charles and Agolo will ask those questions, but how many people go to him? They will not go to him. Okay. People like what's the other troublemaker? Rufai will ask those questions. Will they go to him? No, they will not go to him. They will not go to him.
You call him troublemaker?
Of course, that's what they call him now. All the way they say he's troublemaker. Because he asked them on the spot question and expect them to be able to answer it, which is not wrong.
Sorry, KJ, but do you realize that in all this journalism work, our area of concentration is mostly interviewing when it comes to journalism in Nigeria. Sorry to say, because there are some very, very troubling issues that usually the stories, when they do come out, they come out in the social media, from private phones, and eventually the mainstream media does not pursue those stories, and even the ones that have pursued them today are out of the country. One case in mind that comes readily to my mind is David Hundeyin. David Hundeyin is one investigative journalist that has gone out of his way. Pardon?
He's one of the troublemakers.
Yes, he's one of the troublemakers. Even though he's kind of like relaxed a bit now because of all the threats, left, right, center. But he's still like someone that I think the Institute of Journalism should add to their faculty. Nigerian government should not discourage such people. We shouldn't kill investigative journalism. It is there for a reason to investigate. There's a reason that it's called investigative journalism. It's not there as an addendum. No, it's there to ensure that certain facts are followed, and not just followed, they are exhaustively followed to the latter. Now, why am I saying this? You discover that survival has been most of the connecting denominator in all that's, I've been hearing since. It's either a survival to provoke or a survival to douse, but it's all survival. And even Google has not helped, because I still remember James earlier on said since Google took him off, he has not been able to continue, which means Google has been helping. But is Google also influencing? That's the question. We don't know, but it has been helping, which means there will be a lot of independent journalists since they are not getting government brown envelopes. Because it seems like this issue of brown envelope is tilting the narrative towards what Professor Patu Tommy was talking about. It becomes like it's we against you. Why are you disgruntled? After all, they are here, they are helping you. Was there road, 2-kilometer road there yesterday? But at least today there's half kilometer. Got to manage it. Why are you crying? What's wrong with you? Tomorrow another government will come out another half kilometer, at least for 5 billion. They tried now. So those are the kind of narratives you get all the time. And then you begin to scratch your head and go, what's going on here? I mean, why are we not getting the full information? Because at the end of the day, it's all about full, complete, accurate, detailed information. Why is it not coming out? Why? What's suppressing it? Why is the government afraid? I mean, why are you afraid? Even if you're afraid, still let it out, because the suggestions will still come from the people at the end of the day. If you ask me, it's still the people that you're ruling that will still be the ones that will show you where you're not doing well and where you're doing well. It's going to be balanced eventually, because all of them are not mad, all of them are not crazy. They can't all come out and say, oh, you are the worst, you're a demon, you're a devil, crucify him. They won't do that. No, because there will still be those who are saying, yes, there's an effort here, because it's the potential. Some people see the potential. They see the potential and they go, oh, there's a potential here. Yeah, we can, work on it. We can make something out of it. We can mold it into the shape that we want it to look like. We can't just throw it away. And there are some people that will say, no, bury it, kill it, destroy it, nip it in the bud. If it grows, it's going to be a cankerworm. To begin to do surgery on that thing, you won't even know where the head is. Talk more of where you are going to, so you understand. That's chaos is there, but there's order in chaos. You always have a society that has all sorts of people. But when it comes to information dissemination, I feel it is sacrosanct. It's one area of our life that shouldn't be hoarded. It shouldn't be hidden, because the more we are hiding most of this information, the more we are hoarding most of this information, the less, what's the word again? We are not helping the generation coming further, because the generation coming further eventually is just like I was saying some days ago with somebody, that the lack of continuity is not because another government came and decided to say, I'm not going to carry on with the construction that the last government was on. No, it's because the information, the real information that the government that is taking over needs to get is not handed over to them. It's not. That's why it's disjuncted. And that's why till tomorrow we'll always have that issue of, not understanding how the government should even, where should it focus on? What should be its, I mean, because if you ask me, what is really, really Tinubu's intention for Nigeria? Apart from what he said, which is, I will continue from where Buhari stopped. And what was Buhari's intention for Nigeria? Change. But clearly, the change and the continuation of change, which is renewed hope, is not well documented because we are not seeing it. They are not documenting this things. It's you and I that are actually helping them to document the story of their government. But from their own part, what they are doing is selling a narrative that will not be able to sustain. It can't stand the test of time. Because in 50 years from now, when you read their stories and compare it to what's on ground, it's going to be laughable. That's what kind of bogs my mind. Like, where is the vision? Why are they blind? Why are these guys thinking that everything? I mean, you forget that when they say the world now has access to information, it's not a lie. It's one of the most scariest things that we should even be worried about, that this information can be dug out at any time. This is not the 80s or the 70s where there were newspapers only, and such newspapers, you could actually like stop printing. This one you can't stop printing.
Okay.
The era has changed.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think some of the questions you raised, I will bring NDBC in to come and answer them and then make his own contribution. NDBC, you heard what he said. Are you in agreement? I saw you raising your hand, so I thought maybe you have a contrary view.
Yeah, not. I wanted to make my own comment, but he made some points. What he said, he made many points in what he's saying, but I think when he was talking about what are the stumbling blocks for genuine journalism today, I think both fear, lack of professionalism, and the Nigerian way of saying that, oh, this is just the way it is now, we can't do anything about it, let's continue that way. If we observe, for those of us who followed the struggles during the military era, we can count 1, 2, 3 up to 5 notable journalists who insisted on doing the right thing and they got into trouble with the military. And then part of why the military decided to finally leave the scene or the stage was because of that pressure from the press. But it appears that the press have completely gone to sleep. Not necessarily that they went to sleep. Some of us were there in the past, but while we were there or while I was back home, what I observed is that some politicians now see a way of creating name for themselves and creating this false narrative that they are the people's, that they are for the people. Many of them set up media houses. They set up media houses to, first of all, to promote themselves and pursue power. And even those of them who are not politicians, but are in the private media owners, they have rapport, strong interactions with this, strong coordinate relationship with these politicians. So, and it makes it hard for their employees, the press, the journalists themselves, to carry out their functions unhindered, independently. You might be a budding journalist, you come out, all the training you got in school, that the pen is mightier than the sword. You should fight for human rights. You should speak out when you see evil. You should investigate. You come with that zeal into the media house. By the time you start writing, maybe they send you to cover an event. You went there, you go behind the event, you cover the event behind the event. KJ, you know what I mean by that? The event, maybe the what really happened, not what you see at the event. Other stories behind that. You come, you tell your boss, the editor, that you have apart from this thing, you got a scoop, an exclusive. He will ask you to go put it in writing. When you put it down, he will ask you to sit down. He'll begin to question you. Who did you talk to, this and this? After you have told him all you have, he will say, okay, keep that one by the side. Maybe he will call the owner of the media house and say, there is this group. If that one is a friend of government, will say, cut it. Don't let it go. And there's something you can do about it. So that is part of the problem. So many of them have sold out to the establishment and to men who are in power or who have the cash that flows. You can see that the intensity of the media during military era has been watered down so much now. It is not the way it used to be. That is why they hardly do real investigative journalism. In those era, you see reporters being given award, not necessarily being done it nationally, but in their media for hard work, for how they were able to bring out a story that helped in curbing a crime, in busting a crime scene. But these days they don't do that. They only appear on TV, like KJ said. They assign reporters to different beats. You cover FCT, you cover education ministry, you cover police and all that. You just go there, whatever they have, they give you, and you can't go beyond that. So and the fear of, if I get into trouble, who will come to my rescue? And the president, we are thinking of their families as well. Every woman or man doing this media job wants to go to the office, do his assignment, and go back home to his or her family. So there's so much. The space is so compressed. Sometimes I don't blame them, but this job is like the eye of the society. Is the fourth estate of the realm, as we are taught in school. It is what. If the government, the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive do their thing, it is the job of the media to equally to be the searchlight, to find out what they are not doing well and report it. But Nigeria is no longer that way. That is why we thank God that social media is there, that people are now saying, are bringing some. There are some things that if social media was not there, they would just end like that. I remember those days when we were younger, when we used to watch NTA. You see Frank Olise. Frank Olise, we traveled to a place like a far place in Sokoto to go and cover an event. He will be reporting live from there. He will do, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, he will do a follow-up visit to that place. That was why he was so acclaimed. He was in government media, but he was doing what he should do. Or are we talking about people like Delegiwa and others? But the ones we have today now, they want to go into media. Journalists are not necessarily rich men. It is what you have done that will bring you that will bring you glory. But now some will go into there, they'll be acting like CEO of companies. They interview, they even sit down sometimes and select who to invite for interview, those top men in government. Sometimes they solicit for interview, all in a bid to and when they come, they don't ask them the real questions. The show that we are talking about, I've observed that sometimes when he's interviewing an establishment man, somebody in government or somebody who is no longer in government but supporting the present government, he juggles it. If you don't look very well, if you don't have that third eye, you wouldn't know that he is trying to avoid some questions. He may ask some questions that look tough, but for those of us who are who were once in the system, we know it's just a normal question. But when he sees somebody in the opposition, he will throw off the gloves. He will ask all kinds of questions. And I think that was part of what got Patutomi upset. And he has been interviewing Patutomi for a long time, not today. So you see, many of them, they don't want to fight for the country. And all the countries where we have seen progress, press has been part of why that country got to where they are. If not for the press, the Watergate scandal in the 70s involving Nixon, nobody would have known it. See how that changed America to some extent. So our press, sometimes I don't blame them. How the government has compressed the space. Then almost all of them have media houses, even state TV stations. You don't talk any. There's a story you will write. Your editor will tell you this one cannot go because Ogah will not allow it. You want me to lose my job? So what can the person do? But I hope that at some point we'll have a system where people will be bold to report facts and allow the public to now be the judge. because part of our job is to report facts and put it there for public discourse.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you so much. All right, Madam Ifi, do you have anything to say? If not, can you give us your closing statement?
It's good to see you again. Good evening after a long time.
Thank you.
Brother Steer, Moshe. KJ, I'm just tired. I mean, honestly speaking.
That's Nigeria for you.
I'm just tired, honestly. I am just tired. Anytime you turn on social media, say this election will be next year, literally 1 year from February 20th, we will have this election. You know, but this is my take, honestly, overall. A very young man left a message, sent a video out today. And in that video, he said something. He's not siding anybody. He said he's not supporting anybody. But if you get a chance, go listen to that video. He said it all. He said if Tinubu had worked for us these 4 years, he doesn't need all this, getting all the governors, getting city movement, getting all this, all that. All these things that he's doing is because he did not do nothing. It's very simple. And when people call Tinubu the master strategy, I'm like, no, I can even, I'm even better than him. If he's that smart enough, this thing he's doing now is something he would have been doing in the second term. He will use this first term to work for the people. When it comes to second term, all this money that he's spending, he wouldn't spend it. He will spend this money working for Nigerians. When he comes for second term, I will be among the people campaigning. We will tell him, oh God, everybody go sit down. Tinubu is working. But how can you tell ordinary somebody on the street that Tinubu is working? Look at Sheyi, went to the north and was sharing rice. So that rice is going to last for 4 years. He was sharing rice. MC Olomo was sharing rice. And that is a democracy. These people, they don't have no sense. I swear, they don't have no sense. Let your work, like VDM said, let your work speak for you. Let your work speak for you. Alex Oti doesn't need to campaign. He doesn't need to campaign in Abia State. Even if Ojusto Carlo and Benjamin Carlo and all of, even if, in fact, they wouldn't even come to contest the election anyway. He's unopposed. Alex Oti is unopposed in Abia State. That is how it's supposed to be. So who's going to contest against him? Nobody. Because if you come there, was in fact, don't even waste your money. I'm not from Abia State, but I'm so proud of him. And I'm so proud of Nena Oti, that woman that refused to collect bribe. That is how it's supposed to be. If not, Abia would have been suffering by now. But she stood her ground. That is how it's supposed to be. For those of you who are still collecting gare and rice, I hope you will sustain you for the next 4 years. Don't come on social media and be begging people for money. It is very easy. It's not a rocket science. What Lesotho is doing in Abia, it's not a rocket science. You can pray all you want to pray. You can pray, you can sing, you can. It's not going to fix Nigeria, whether you like it or not. Can you imagine how stupid, how low we have descended that if you get a visa, you give a testimony. You come to church and give a testimony that you get a visa to go to Canada, that you get a visa to go to America. How many times have you seen a Canadian citizen or a British citizen come to give a testimony that they got a visa to go to Nigeria? How many? Is that what they're talking about? That is how much our pastors, they have all went numb. Nobody's speaking up. Not even one person. None. But during Jonathan's time, you saw all of them. They were all marching, calling for his resignation. And now this is Tinubu. All of them went numb. People are crying. People are suffering. There is hunger in the land. And you think prayer will help you? Hell no. You can pray all you want to pray. Qatar did not build their country by praying. Dubai did not build their country by praying. All these developed countries, Saudi did not, that is even their main headquarters. They did not build their country by praying. America did not, even in God they trust. They did not build their country by praying. Canada, all the European countries. Imagine me teaching you something. They brought religion to us, but now we are more religious than them. Isn't that stupid? You go to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then you go to church Thursday, Friday, Saturday. How can you succeed? How can you succeed? Let us fix our country. Let us stop deceiving ourselves. Our politicians are the people destroying us. Yes, but we are part of it too. Most of the things, we are the problem. Stop collecting bribe. I don't know if anybody, did you guys see the Oyibo guy from, I don't know whether it's Australia, I don't know where the guy is from, but was condemning what he went through in a Nigerian airport. I don't know if you guys saw it. Everybody there was begging. Can you imagine? Nigeria is the only airport that I have traveled and then somebody asks you for money. Other airports, hell no. Just show your passport, stamp it, and keep going. But Nigeria, they will even threaten you on top of it. If you don't bring it, you will not pass. You will not carry your food stuff to go, or you will not go and quarantine it. Nigerians.
Yes,
and you want your country to be good? How can your country be good? This guy that went to South Africa. If Nigeria is good when Nigeria was good, nobody was leaving the country now. People were not even going to vacation. They vacation in Nigeria. If the country is good, this guy would have been in Nigeria with his mother and his sister. And look at it now. He's gonna go home in a box. Let us have conscience. Nigerian leaders, Nigerian politicians, Ababio, they call you. Listen to what is going on. People are suffering. People are suffering. Tinubu, this is a plea. Please do not contest. You are not even healthy. You are not 73 like you told us. I lost an uncle that died at the age of 90. You should have seen him. You should have seen him. Look more healthy. If you see him facial, we were surprised that he went to sleep and didn't wake up. It was a shock. But he looks more healthier than Tinubu. And Tinubu told us that he's 73. From January, everything about you is a lie. You're supposed to be resting. Play with your grandchildren. You cannot carry the problem of 200, almost 300 million people. It is too much. It is too much. You cannot. You haven't done anything for us since you came into power. It's just suffering upon suffering upon suffering. In fact, your wife has become a politician to go and represent us in Nigeria, in America. She even got the open her mouth to say, Donald Trump recognized me. Donald Trump, that you know that will disgrace you in a second. Donald Trump will praise you in a minute. In the next second, he will call you all sorts of names. And you are saying, who am I that Donald Trump I don't want Donald Trump to recognize me. Hell no. I don't even want him to say anything good about me. I would rather Donald Trump say something bad about me than for me to even make it a breaking news that who am I that Donald Trump? Are you not ashamed that Donald Trump recognized me? Who am I? Who are you?
Okay.
I don't give a shit about anybody. I don't give a shit about anybody. Just wait a minute. Maybe he will come and arrest your husband, carry your husband like the way he carried the Venezuelan president. That's when you will know that you don't give a F about anybody.
That is my prayer. That is my prayer. Let Trump do Maduro for Nigeria. Let him level any accusation on Tinubu.
And you even got the now.
No, it's true. No. See, listen. They say in medicine, if you're a physician, they say you just massage the problem. If you're a surgeon, you do surgery. Remove that thing. That is the. So what we want is surgery. Let Trump do surgery on Tinubu. Don't do Maduro, pick him. 1 midnight, we not go here say Tinubu Day, New York. Maybe before or near KJ in Maryland, say that there they put her, make it from there he go the report. No, it's true. And immediately if he does that, tension low like this, tension go just
No,
like,
I'm
no,
even
but
surprised
see,
that Tinubu went there.
Nice.
Remi Tinubu went to grant an interview and started quoting figures. I was like, what the heck is this? How did he become the person that would represent Nigeria and be quoting figures and what your husband? Michelle Obama never did that. I have never seen any first lady. This is my first time. And you people don't think it's a disgrace. Oh my God, it is a disgrace.
It is.
And the other guy, the guy that has a show, turned her down. Isn't that a disgrace?
She's an embarrassment to the country.
Speaking, I was shocked.
Okay.
Hailing her. Our first lady. Now our mama, which mama?
CM, if what you are suggesting happens, then Osama will take over. So is that preferable?
Anyway,
okay,
hold on, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are closing down. We're shutting down. So I'll go to Yakubu, then I'll come to you guys. Yeah, Yakubu, what's your closing statement? I don't want you to pander to what if you have said, because that will take us another 1 hour. Just go ahead and
my closing.
Your closing.
My closing statement is see, the truth of the matter is this: let's really take Nigeria seriously. I see that those leaders, they don't see Nigeria as a country. They see Nigeria as a business enterprise to be bankrupted.
Yes.
As long as the money is coming in free and easy, they will keep circulating themselves. And that's where the problem lies, because they have easy access to money, unquestioned, unstopped. The moment the people begin to let them understand that, you've had enough, you've had your fill, then there will begin to be a change. I mean, real, not Buhari change, proper change. Proper change. I look forward to that day that Nigerians will say, you know what, you can keep. How many soldiers are there? How many police are there? When will Nigerians come out and say, you can keep shooting, but this 230 million, I doubt if you have enough rounds to follow us. I doubt it. I doubt it. There is no rounds. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Yeah. Andy, you want to take your...
Yes, my take as we round up is about insecurity in the country. The speed at which these terrorists are ravaging our country, particularly the hinterland areas, is so shocking. They now even give you date when they will arrive. I wonder, where are the military? Is it that they don't get orders to go, or they don't have enough manpower, or their bosses are not giving them order? The country it appears as if the country is without any somebody who is in charge. These people are just rampaging up and down. They are now virtually everywhere, and yet the military cannot. They only arrive like fire service when the fire has already started. In fact, they delay for hours before the fire than the fire service do. It's shocking. Okay, these terrorists have just recently paraded over 170-something people, mainly women and children, that they kidnapped in Kwara. Yet, with the military, this is within Nigeria's territory. Are the military?
It's like your network is frozen. Is it?
Yeah, his network is frozen. Let me see your network. Refresh.
Luis, your network is frozen.
Since the network are refusing to make its final decision,
The question. Okay, the question I won't say more, just to ask this question. It's just open question. You can take it home. It doesn't need no. I don't need people to answer it here. Just let it agitate your mind. Sometime in 1914, a white man came, met a group of people, joined them together, amalgamated their area, and called them Nigerians. Subsequently, the people now say, "Oh, our coming together is an act of God." 114 years later, in 2026, another white man is planning to separate what was joined together in 2014. Why are people not seeing it as an act of God? That's just my question.
Yeah,
okay. Thank you so much for that.
Sorry, KJ, I don't.
Okay, we should finish your this thing.
So I was saying that the situation in this security situation is just getting out of hand. These people are rampaging. These terrorists, they are rampaging everywhere at random, at their own time. They prescribe time, date, hours, seconds, do whatever they want to do, and go away. We recently saw videos of women and children. A majority of them among people that these people captured. And are we saying that the army or the military doesn't know what to do, or they did not receive order? And we don't really. Something deeper is going on, because this can be happening in a normal country. Nigeria is not a normal country. These people should be shouting about that alongside the electoral reform. I've heard that they are going to sit again the Senate. They are concocting something. I'm sure that they are consulting judges who are giving them what to say. You watch now on Tuesday, they will come up with another caveat.
Okay, he has frozen again. All right. I think we have a general understanding of what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Nigeria matter is troubling. You know, it's like a situation where you're patching and it's leaking. You patch, it's leaking. You patch, it's leaking. So sometimes some of us have suggested that instead of patching and wasting money, why not just throw it away? You know, maybe look for a new one. You know, but I don't know which sector now you will look and say, okay, maybe this sector is good. Let us manage this one. It's like everywhere you look, it's all problematic. So the judiciary that is supposed to be the hope, that is supposed to give us hope, that is when the politicians have done all what they have done, or the executive have done all their manipulations and so on, it comes down to the judiciary that is supposed to be blind. Now has removed the cloth that is put over the eyes of the woman that we see as their symbol. So there's a desecration of that temple of justice that they call them. So in fact, they are the worst, because they are the ones that will tell you go to court, and they are the ones that will interpret. Add. They have taught us some new words in our lexicon now. And get a new meaning. 12 to 3rd, get a new meaning, and so on and so forth. So even the law that the legislators put together, this amendment that we are talking about, the people who are going to interpret it is the judiciary, and they're going to give it their interpretation, and unfortunately, it's the final. So if they give it an interpretation that we have never heard before, so be it. There's nothing you can do. So that's the dilemma. Because if we have a judiciary that we trust, that we know will do the right thing and will interpret the law without fear or favor, then we won't mind what these people are doing. When they finish, when Akufesi or Dalawo, that's how we say it in Igbo. When they do all the things that they have done, it will come down to nitty-gritty. And we trust that a Daniel will come to judgment. But that's not what we have. So when you look to the left, you look to the right, you are wondering, which way Nigeria? And that's what is giving some of us headache, that even this headache now is worse than migraine. Panadol cannot cure it. So instead of being in this kind of situation every day, I mean, look at how can a nation spend all the time in the world and talking about amending this real time or no real time when there are technologies? That shouldn't be the issue that we should be discussing. I said that 200 people cannot prefer a solution that is clear after the nation has agreed that this is where we want to go. A few people sit down over there and then try to think out with what the people have decided. So what's the public sitting? What was the reason for that? Because you've garnered the consensus of opinion. This is what we want. This is where we want to go. So what are you still doing? With tinkering with whatever, and then why didn't you tell them when they were telling you this is what we want, this is what that is not possible to transmit for e-transmission real time? It's not, there's this network issue, we don't have enough internet penetration and so on and so forth. Why didn't you tell them? Why didn't you canvass that view? So it's a problem, and I think that for me, I used to oppose the CM when he's saying everybody go their own way. I used to have said, I said it here, no, that I don't think so. I still have hope. But every day when I see the things that are happening, see the killings, I see the way the politicians are behaving, I see the nonchalant attitude of government towards even very simple solutions. And now it has now gone so bad that Nigeria has become an open border for anybody to just come and take what you want to take or do what you want to do. So what are we talking about? What are we talking? I mean, we just discussed today about a Nigerian that is killed. And look at here in America, a woman, they've been looking for one woman, is missing, old woman. They've been looking for her. They have not given up consistently. Every day there's a new revelation. Every day there's a new revelation. They will come to the bottom of it, no matter what it takes. That's the country. If we talk now, they go say you talk, but that's the country. 2 people were killed. People went out, they are protesting, and they don't even know who they be. But they're out there, they're protesting. So that's how a country, that's the concern. That's how you feel that you're in a country. So when you don't have that kind of leadership, you don't see that kind of a thing. Honestly.
Okay. Thank you. So
how do you want us to feel?
Tony, thank you so much. I beg, make me the best. Are you what's his name now? The son of Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu, that they should be concerned about you. These things are our levels, and anyway.
KJ, the painful thing is why these things are going on. They are busy talking about village. Is it village?
Village boy.
Yes, all this one with the killings and it doesn't concern. They're talking about village boy. They're talking about
the village boy and city boy campaign is going on.
No, one thing that surprised, I mean, Tony, does it not surprise you that even with the American boots on Nigerian soil, these people still have audacity to, that is, I thought that the American soldiers have arrived, even if they are 20 or 100 or whatever, that should have sent them that look.
Shame, yes.
That you had. That's my surprise. That's what surprising me.
That will be the discussion for another day, because if we start, we will not end. But let's leave it there. Chinedu, NDBC, you have just 1 minute.
Okay, just like I was saying before, on the area of the electoral law, I had their convening again, the Senate, on Tuesday. Like Mr. Tony said, what are they going to tinker this time with? If they claim they are people's representative, let them do what majority of Nigerians want. Since we're not doing e-voting for now, transmit this result after collation at the police center, transmit it electronically to the IREV, so that on written, some people will be seeing it and following it. It should be the joy, so that whichever party that wins, if Nigerians in their clear eye decide to still vote in this man that is there now, we say, okay, people who voted him will live with it for that 4 years and see the more disaster he's going to bring to the country. If Nigerians say no, want another person, let it be. Nobody owns the country. For these people, they believe they own the country. They're just running the show. They'll go in their inner coven and discuss and come out and begin to justify what they are trying to do. leading what the people want them to do. So Nigerians should open their eyes. And like some of us said in one other show, the opposition parties should insist that there should be live transmission of collation, since they're going to do collation manually, both from polling units, what is it called, ward level, local government level, and state, so that they'll be following it. And they should use that IREV. They should insist that IREV, the result in IREV should be the primary source of confirming results, so that if in doubt, they will refer to what is in the IREV. They should demand it, because these people are looking for ways to rig this election. Then insecurity will call on the military. If there's a way they can ignore the commander-in-chief and go after these people because they are capable of doing it, this is too much.
Thank you so much. I want to let you know the military will not ignore the commander-in-chief. And there is no way they're going to go about it. But we shouldn't worry too much, because if, Akpabio himself didn't win the election, but he's the Senate president. Lawal, the former Senate president, he didn't even buy form, but he's today a member of the House. The young man who bought the form won the election. He's farming somewhere in his community.
The national estate somewhere.
Yes. So let's not make it look as if these people don't know what they're doing. They are not just trying to see how they can make us deceive us a bit to believe that actually they want the best, but they don't. In any case,
sorry, let me just add this.
No, let's move.
Politics aside, let the military go after these terrorists. The thing is becoming too much.
No, the military is not going to go after the terrorists. The military don't just get up and go. They get up and go by command given to them.
Okay.
So nothing is going to happen. And if care is not taken, even Kwara will be run over, and then we'll move to the next state.
Okay.
Having said that, I want to thank all of you gentlemen for being here, and lady. Just to summarize, on the diplomatic level, the Southern African government have done nothing or said nothing concerning the death of Isaac Satellite. They've not made any public statement by any government official, neither have they even tried to reach out to the Nigerian government. But I also hear that Abike Dabiri have issued a statement, and it's not enough. Honestly, it's not enough. And that's why some of us are not in government, because by now, nobody will joke with Nigeria because the way we were going, thinking that Nigeria will operate. Because I believe in what Obasanjo did the time that one of their presidents decided to deport Nigerians. As the plane was landing in Abuja, the plane was filled back with South Africans going back to South Africa. And they learned their very bitter lesson. No be person tell them, and then wrong come with us to Abuja. We cannot continue to be saying we just, I don't understand how these things are done, but want to also reach out to the family of David Satellite, and they say our heart goes with him and his family, and we pray that God will restore that which the enemy has destroyed, and that his health will be back to him, so that him and his wife can at least take care of Emanuela, that is the younger one, to Isaac. Having said that, I also want to say that we appreciate Ifi, who is always here. Thank you so much for being here. Yakubu, I see you have a lot of followership now. Your comments are quite heavy, and people are appreciating that. Thank you so much for being here, your time and your treasure, because we are not paying for your data. NDBC, thank you also. Today we were able to catch up with you. Most times we don't, but thank you. Hopefully next Sunday we will also have you around. Thank you, CM, for joining us. In your time now will be about 2 a.m. or thereabout. Thank you for spending that time to join us and make your own contribution. And Tony, thank you so much, Tony. We appreciate your contribution always. You're always here to give us an intro. Today I was on your case because their government. What I tell us what happened. Okay, so thank you. We really appreciate you and your being here. And that will be it for us today. If the program didn't suit you, maybe next week we'll do that which you like. But today was full of emotion because I can't imagine it, and I still can't imagine it, and I don't want to wish it for my enemy. Not talk more of my friends. When if your child didn't die at the age of 22, when you're hoping that you have done your best and you're now handing over, and then this happens. It's nothing anybody wants to imagine for even your enemy. And so our heart goes out. And we pray that Nigeria will not drop the ball this time, that will press home and make sure that we'll collect a pound of flesh from the Southern African government or their people. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate.
Are you on air tomorrow?
Tomorrow is what?
That's President's Day. It's holiday for us, yeah.
It's holiday, right?
Yeah.
If it's holiday, we'll be here. Can I show you?
It's holiday, President's Day.
Okay, I have not been told by my people, so maybe now maybe that's what the email I just got now is holiday. So, but if it's holiday, we would make arrangement for something to be done for all of us to enjoy our holidays. Dr. Rudolph has really been very kind. Please, if you can, whatever you can, we need to be able to pay for this channel by this Monday. Whatever you can throw in will be good for us. The Zelle number is on the screen. It's because of the little resource we have. We know we could have been able to expand it to be up to 25 persons, but so far this is what we can afford. And as I talk to you now, I'm not even part of those carrying the weight. It is still Rudolph himself who is carrying the weight all by himself. So if anybody can, $50, $10, $20, it will be good for us. Also, if you can help us to share this, like it will also help us to get more out there. It's surprising me and Rudolph that so far, everything we have done so far, we have not been able to pass 80,000 people. We think that they killed it against us, but no problem. Let's just see and keep liking and see why it will not go beyond that point, and also subscribing to it. On behalf of Rudolph himself and every other person who have been at the background, Adama and all the other people who have helped show, Ngozika and everyone, we say thank you so much. And we would normally like to leave with our uncle advising us on what to do with Nigerian money.
1,911,844,833 naira and 46. I'll take that again. 1,911,000,000 844 billion, 1 trillion. This money is too much for me.